The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
SNY Jets insider Connor Hughes put together a list of possible options for the Jets at quarterback. We'll go through each one. They're not great. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started.
Man, our Jets are primed to win another offseason, baby.
Number one, we play with maximum effort. There's three elements of effort. Got burst, speed, and finish. If I don't see one of those, man, you're a traitor. Go play for somebody else. Win, lose, or draw. The one thing you're going to say about our defense, using the fight. That's an ass kicker.
We bleed Jets green each and every day. Will the playoff drought finally end? Haze of the offseason, baby. This is what we do. At least we have Garrett Wilson. We have Brees Hall. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chat, baby. Cut the line. We have Sauce Gardner. We have Quinn Williams. Prepare to be underdogs. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show.
Here we go. Welcome in, everybody. Show number 2 on the day. If you missed it, we had the great Robbie Sabo on earlier today. Tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, Joe Beningo, Joe B, will join us to react to the Aaron Rodgers news. Still no official statement yet from the Jets as I sit here just after 5:30 Eastern on Monday, but it's coming. Jay Glazer's not wrong. It's coming. Aaron Rodgers will not be the Jet quarterback in 2025. I think it's a massive mistake, but the Jets don't listen to me, so let's hope they know what they're doing because I want them to win, and hopefully they could do that next year and beyond. Before we get started, reminder to make sure that you hit the like button and you subscribe to the channel. If you haven't joined the Patreon yet, get on board. It's just $5 a month. You'll get access to our private Discord. You'll find out about showtimes before anyone, listener events like our Knicks meetup in March before anyone. Your name will be added to the intro. You get bonus shows every month, 20% off all merch items and more. Head over to patreon.com/Jake Asman Show. And a huge shout out to Wisteria Hysteria, Cheats fan who renewed his membership, Jets Fuel 27, Thomas Rossi, and Ed Carco for being our most recent Patreon subscribers. So, Connor Hughes of SNY put together a list of possible quarterback options for the New York Jets. What we'll do right now is we will go through said list of options, and we will break down what the Jets might potentially do. So without further ado, I give you the article from SNY.com. First option, in-house, Tyrod Taylor. Tyrod Taylor, to me, is the overwhelming favorite to get this job. Why? He's on the team. He doesn't cost a lot. And it'd be very easy for the Jets just to say, we got Tyrod. He started in this league before. We'll go from there. But I'm placing a bet who the week 1 starter is right now. I think it's going to be Tyrod Taylor. Now, could that change? Sure. But I think if you're trying to size up what the likely options are, more likely than not, it's Tyrod Taylor. Other option in-house, Jordan Travis. I'm going to spend about 5 seconds on Jordan Travis. Ready? Jordan Travis will not start for the Jets. Done. The guy's yet to complete an NFL practice. He was drafted in the 5th round by a previous regime. There is no difference in Jordan Travis than some of the other quarterbacks that the Jets have taken late-round dart throws on over the last 15 years. There's really no difference right now between Jordan Travis and Greg McElroy. Jordan Travis and Bryce Petty. Jordan Travis and even Christian Hackenberg, who was a 2nd-round pick. Like, you hope that maybe he could develop into a backup, but the reality is this guy suffered a devastating injury last year. Was supposed to be healthy by training camp, and he never was. I broke my own rule. That was over 5 seconds. Jordan Travis is not the answer. Free agency. Get ready, folks. Sam Darnold. We're really going to entertain this. Sam Darnold will not be back with the Jets. It's not going to happen. Not going to happen. I mean, I can tell you why, but I think we all know. First off, everything you hear about Sam Darnold's relationship with the organization is that he wants nothing to do with coming back. I could tell you from people who know Sam's family that they want nothing to do with the Jets. It's not going to happen. And I don't blame Sam at all. I'm going to continue to root for Sam. But it's not happening. I mean, I wish Sam all the best. And I'll give Sam credit for this. When, the classic Jet joke at NFL honors had to be made, Snoop Dogg took a shot at the Jets, basically being like, oh, Sam Darnold had to get away from the Jets to be good. One of those jokes. Sam didn't even laugh. So I give Sam credit. Next option on the list is Carson Wentz. How great. Let's bring in a guy who's one opportunity this year playing for the Kansas City Chiefs. He was 10 of 17 for 98 yards, and his team got destroyed. Could I see Carson Wentz and Tyrod Taylor being in the quarterback room? I probably could. It's not going to cost a lot because I think no matter what the Jets do, if they don't draft someone, there's a scenario where Wentz is like in play competing with Tyrod, or maybe it's Jimmy Garoppolo. The other option here is Fields. Of the free agent options, Fields intrigues me the most because he's the youngest guy we're going to talk about. I mean, Justin Fields has arm talent. He has mobility. I just question whether or not he'd want to come to the Jets. I think there'll be other teams like Tennessee, for example, that's going to pay more money to Fields and give him a guaranteed chance to start until they probably draft a quarterback and he'll compete with the rookie. Fields, to me, is in that Sam Darnold category, right? Sam signed with the Vikings, but you knew Minnesota was likely going to draft a quarterback. And ultimately, Sam got a chance to compete, start, and then McCarthy went down and it was Sam's job, obviously. But like that to me is the scenario for Fields. He's going to go somewhere where the team is obviously going to still probably add a quarterback, but he's going to go somewhere that's going to pay him more money than the Jets can. Because for all you who want to get rid of Rodgers, you're now absorbing $49 million against your cap this year. You don't have money to go out there and pay Justin Fields $15 million. That's another reason why I think Tyrod's going to start. So here we go. We're probably looking at some guys who aren't very good, which that's the reality of being a Jet fan. Russell Wilson, I mean, I don't know. Is Russell Wilson really where the Jets want to go? We're talking about culture, right? With Aaron Glenn. He's a Parcells guy. He doesn't want a celebrity quarterback. So you're going to want what? Russell Wilson and his supermodel, superstar wife to come to the Jets and be the center of all this media attention? I think he can get away with it in Pittsburgh because Mike Tomlin is Mike Tomlin. But Aaron Glenn's a first-year coach. I don't think he wants to deal with Russell Wilson. At that point, if you're going to go from Aaron Rodgers to Russell Wilson, why didn't you just keep Russell Wilson? So I don't like this one either. Other names to watch. You ready for these exciting options, Jet fans? Buckle up. Marcus Mariota, Daniel Jones, Jacoby Brissett, Andy Dalton, Drew Lock, Mac Jones, Jimmy G. I guess Dalton is the one name here where I'm like, okay, maybe. Right? Because they're going to add another quarterback beyond Tyrod. Like, Dalton's a pro. He can come in and play decent. He's done that. He's kind of like Tyrod. I don't even know if you're going to be able to get Dalton, though. Couldn't you see Dalton going to, like, the Dolphins? They're going to need to spend big money on a backup quarterback. I could see Dalton there. I noticed here that Connor didn't list Jameis Winston, good friend of the show. I could see Jameis Winston being, a possibility too. But he's not even listed here, it doesn't look like. So, I mean, look, Daniel Jones, no thank you. I don't think he'd want to come back to New York anyway. I'm good. Trade options. Ready for this, folks? Derek Carr. Ha! Tremendous. I mean, this sucks. Derek Carr, great. Love it. Let's bring in a guy who stinks. Incredible. Played 10 games this year. He was good till he got hurt. Unfortunately, he got hurt. And, one of my good friends who I was with in New Orleans is a Saints fan. And we're just talking about how bad Derek Carr was. I don't know. I mean, I guess Derek Carr is better than some of the options we talked about, but I guess it's going to depend on contract. Like, if you get Derek Carr for next to nothing, great. I don't know. I don't love Derek Carr. I'm good on him. The other option here is Kirk Cousins. This would be so Jets, which is why I could definitely see it happening. They'll sell you on, well, Kirk Cousins, another year removed from the Achilles, could be good. And he's not going to cost you anything because the Falcons are going to basically be paying his contract for him not to play. It's like Russell Wilson with the Steelers this past year. And Russell Wilson was being paid by Denver, so he was a veteran minimum signing for Pittsburgh. They got good value there for a year. I mean, Kirk Cousins was not good this past year, folks. I mean, he had 18 touchdowns and 16 picks in 14 games. He looked shot, too. You guys complain about Rodgers' mobility. I mean, Cousins' mobility was, like, even worse. But this would be very Jets. Let's bring in a guy also coming off an Achilles and then go out there and what? Win maybe 7 games at best? Okay. Now, the other options down here are the draft. There's only one quarterback I would consider trading up for, and that's Cam Ward. I don't think Shador would come here. I don't think Dion would allow that. And Jackson Dart, I have very little interest in the top 7. If you told me they traded into the first round at the end and they acquired him, I'd be more open to that. I think taking a quarterback at 7 would be a massive, massive mistake. It'd be terrible. So those are the options here. I mean, that's kind of what we're looking at, folks. I think if I was betting right now, the favorite's probably Tyrod. I could definitely see Cousins because that'd be the most Jet-like thing I think ever. Bring in another old quarterback coming off the same injury and try and sell us on, well, he's a real culture guy. So why not just keep Rodgers then for another year? But okay. I mean, it's not great. And I think the only way, by the way, the Jets could maybe even trade up for a quarterback is they would have to get up to like, one of them would have to be there at maybe like 4. That's New England. You won't be able to swing a deal with them. Yeah, it's kind of tough. I mean, if going up to 7-1, I don't see this regime doing that. They're not on the clock to get a quarterback right away. They know they have time. So that's kind of what we're looking at here. It's bleak. Let's call it for what it is. These options are not great. My preference would be Tyrod and Fields. I don't think Fields is truly realistic for reasons I outlined already. And, you know, I guess you could sell me on, like, Carr maybe with Tyrod competing. Or Fields is not realistic. I'll say it again. Dalton maybe. These options suck. They're not good. Oh, I smell a 4-win season. How about you? Comments, questions, super chats will cut the line. Appreciate everyone tuning in here. I did want to share that we have the everyone who won a raffle prize during Friday's Asmaniac raffle. It has been sent out, so it will be arriving your items this week. Speaking of raffles, our next Asmaniac raffle will be later this week, our weekly raffles. The grand prize is a signed Curtis Martin Hall of Fame helmet. The second place prize is a signed Wayne Corbett autographed jersey. The third place prize is a replica Joe Namath Super Bowl ring. And the fourth place prize is a signed Aaron Glenn trading card. I will send you a display case for you to put the card on as well, included. So I have it right here. The AG autograph card prize number 4. And I got something in store for maybe a prize 5, depending on how many memberships we get this week. So with that said, Gusbuster Hotline is open. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Let's see what you guys are thinking. Some great options out there for the Jets, of course. GTA writes in, don't worry, guys. The Jets always make the best decisions. How could you not be excited for the season? We're going to be great now. I hope. Rob V writes in, just because they're not great now does not mean a move can't be made within the next few months. I just don't know who's becoming available. Like, is Matthew Stafford coming here? Like, who's available that we're not thinking of that's going to be available in a few months? Like, honestly, I could see it being Cousins because maybe you don't trade for him, but you can just get him as a free agent. John says, didn't we offer Kirk $100 million and he went to the Vikings? Yeah, he used the Jets for leverage and then showed everyone that in his documentary documenting his free agency. Yep, but that's the guy we're going to bring in. Great. Jets Nation says, Jake's priority is for the Jets to break the streak. He doesn't care about the locker room or draft capital. Actually, I do care about the locker room, and I could tell you the players in that locker room are not thrilled that Aaron Rodgers is not their quarterback. a la Quinton Williams, Jermaine Johnson, Brees Hall. You see what C.J. Mosley said on TV today. So, and look, I don't even know if C.J.'s going to be on the team. He might be a cap cut or whatever. But no, you know what I care about, Jet Nation? I care about trying to win games, not throwing away next year. That's what I care about. So please, don't tell me what my priorities are, because my priorities are to root for this team, as I always do, to win football games. Get lost. It's the same people, too, commenting all the time. Like, it's truly unreal. Why do you watch this show? Rob V says, Jake, I don't know either, but let Glenn and Muji cook. Yeah, they're cooking beef stew. That's what they're cooking, Rob. Let them cook. We just went through all the options. Tell me an option that's going to emerge that we're not thinking of. I'd love to hear it. Super chat here from Swamp Ranger. He cuts the line. Feels like just yesterday we're talking about which bum we should sign to replace Zach after Rodgers went down. I bet Garrett Wilson wants out now. Same old Jets. Well, my thing is, which is it with Garrett? It's Rodgers, right? That's why you Rodger haters said we had to get rid of him. So now Rodgers won't be here, and it's, well, Garrett's going to request a trade because of all the different quarterbacks he's had to play under. Like, give me a break. They shouldn't trade Garrett Wilson. They should extend Garrett Wilson because right now he's the only goddamn receiver on this team that's worth anything. That's any good. Super chat from Christopher. He cuts the line. Thank you, Christopher. The Jets will jet. This organization's like a carousel. Every few years, we're back to where we started. Nowhere. Hey, we're back in quarterback hell. We created a hole at quarterback when we didn't have to do it. We did not have to do this. You could have kept Aaron for one more year and then got the quarterback in 26. Could have done it. They chose not to. I hope they're right. Nick writes in, call me crazy, but Mac Jones intrigues me. Better numbers than Trevor Lawrence and has Testaverde-esque traits to him. Prototypical quarterback metrics and failed first-round pick as well.
Into the shadow realm you go.
They haven't won anything in 100 years. Saleh's defense, the 2 years that he's been here with the Jets, they haven't done anything. The Jets have spent all summer telling us how great they're going to be. The Jets are going to make me hate them.
We got Mac Jones truthers. I can't do this. I can't do this, man. Rob V says, Garrett couldn't be more happy Rodgers is gone. Centerpiece of our future. I'm sure he's thrilled, Rob. I heard you guys had dinner last night, right? How was it? Would you guys have some steak? I heard you guys got the cream spinach on the side. Nice job. 1189 says Rodgers is done. He might retire. I hope he goes somewhere else and plays great. I really do, because I think he still could play. And it's funny. I'm listening to Rich Cimini's podcast, Flight Deck, and he's talking about the Rodgers move and why it's the right move. And then he goes, but I could definitely see him going somewhere and leading a team to the playoffs. I think he still could play. And I'm like, of course. I'm like, of course, because that's exactly what's going to happen. We all know that's happening. You're in denial if you don't think that's happening. He's like, the Jets had to get rid of him, but I could see him going somewhere else and being great. And I'm like, of course. Of course you could. It's like, of course, why not? I mean, it's just, it never ends. Aaron writes in with a super chat. Could the Jets be aggressive with trade up for Ward or Sanders? Maybe that's the plan. That's not a plan. That's a hope. I don't believe in trading up for Sanders. You can convince me on Ward depending on the cost. Oh, my God. Hey, Rob V, how was the cream spinach, man? You seem very angry in the chat. What's wrong? We're having some fun with you, man. You had a nice dinner with Garrett. He told you everything. He told you state secrets about the Jets. Love it. Let's see. Hector's in all caps. Jake, you can't do this, meaning you can't take what people say, but the other side, we have to agree with what you say. How's that? I don't know what you're talking about, Hector. You want to call in with a different opinion? Please do. You're more than welcome to. Will Ryan says, trade for Anthony Richardson. Why? I mean, I don't even know if the Colts will trade him, but great. Rob V says, Jake, let me call it and don't hang up on me after 2 seconds. Rob, don't have dog crap internet, bud. That might help. Remember you were going to rumble with Beastbreaker? We couldn't hear you, bro. That was on you. Roseanne Gorman in the chat. Hello, Mrs. Gorman. Jake letting them have it. I'm just calling it how it is. Hennessy says, Josh Rosen is available. I'm sure you would love that, Henny. You would love to have Josh Rosen over Aaron Rodgers. I'm sure you would love it. All right, let's get to some calls now, shall we? First up today is Big Cho. Hello, Big Cho.
Jay,
Big Cho.
what's going on? Just got back home from practice.
How was practice today, Big Cho?
It was good. We just dry running a lot of stuff, going through sets. Had about an hour of practice and broke down some film from Saturday's game that we won.
Good. I'm happy to hear it.
I don't know who feels worse, me or you, about this Rodgers thing, because I've been watching your show. I haven't been able to catch it live until now, but I watched your show yesterday, or yesterday's show, and I watched this morning's show. And I think both of us are in misery.
Yeah, I mean, look, I hope they have a real plan here. It's not just, well, we're gonna basically punt on 2025.
Do you think that they need to draft a quarterback in the second or third round just to be safe?
I think they should definitely take a quarterback. I'm not saying they have to take someone in the second round or the third round. It could be in the first round. I'd be surprised if it's at pick 7, but they definitely need to think about quarterback if there's someone they like.
Yeah, because I'm worried about who's going to be the quarterback this year. It's making me nervous.
It should, because the options are not great.
I'm not happy because, I had plans to come up and be with you guys for a weekend for a game. And now I'm wondering if it'd be worth the money.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, we'll see who the quarterback ends up being. Would you pay to watch Kirk Cousins throw the football around for the Jets?
I would, if I would pay, I would just pay to come up for the experience to hang out with the Asmaniacs.
Hey, we know how to have a good time.
Yeah, I definitely want to do that. Now, when you're talking about not picking a quarterback at 7, who do you like at 7?
I think they should take the best available player there.
Have you dove into anybody yet, or?
Yeah, I like the wide receiver from Arizona if they go offense. I like Mason Graham. I doubt Abdul Carter makes it there. I'm intrigued by some of those guys.
Okay. Yeah, I was just curious because I know you had your take on maybe not taking a quarterback in the 7th, but I didn't have really heard you say anything about who you really liked at 7.
I want them to trade back in my dream scenario. Trade back, and if they took Tyler Warren in a trade back, I'd be cool with that. I want them to stockpile picks so they could go up and trade next year, because I think that's more than likely what I see happening. They're going to have to trade up for their quarterback next year.
What if they traded back this year and got in the later part of the first round and then picked a quarterback if they liked one?
I don't hate that idea either.
Okay. Besides the 2 quarterbacks that are going to come off the board, who would you pick? Who do you like? Do you like the guy from Ohio State, the guy from Syracuse?
I don't like any of them in the first round.
Okay.
If you told me they took any of those guys on day 2, I'm much more open to it because it's not as big of an investment.
Who do you like better?
I haven't watched enough of McCord to really have a strong opinion on him, so I don't want to be talking out of my ass on that. I like Milroe's traits. I don't know if I would take him in the second round. I like Jackson Dart if he's sitting and not a first-round pick, or if he is a first-round pick, he's the end of the first round and he's sitting. I don't want them to play any rookie quarterback.
Right, I agree. That's why you need to have a decent quarterback to be a bridge to help teach the new guys something.
Yeah, I agree. And I thought Rodgers would have been perfect for that, Big Cho, but instead, they're going in a different direction. Aaron says, who knows? Maybe Purdy could be traded. I'm trying. Yeah, I'm sure. Another one of those masterful moves that haven't happened yet, but are coming. Because that's what the Jets are known for. Masterful moves. Bang Mateo says, you said you were good with head coach and GM deciding on AR. That is not what I said, and I will clarify this again. I said I want them to be the ones to decide an AR. Doesn't mean I have to agree with it. I didn't want Woody deciding. That was my point. I'm glad that Glenn and Muji are the ones making this decision if that's actually what happened here. Doesn't mean I have to agree with said decision. I didn't want Woody to be involved. I wanted the football people to make the decision because I don't need the athletic story coming out 3 years from now when this regime fails and it's, well, they weren't actually allowed to decide what they wanted to do with Rodgers. If it was up to them, and this will come out after Rodgers goes somewhere next year, plays great, takes that team to the playoffs, and we're going to hear about how, well, Woody forced their hand to get rid of Rodgers. So they never really got to do it their way from the start. You could see Rossini writing this 3 years from now. That's what I didn't want. So I want them to have their mark on the organization. Let them make the decision. They have made the decision. There's nothing we could do. So now I will support whatever they do because I am a Jet fan and I want them to win games. But 3 years from now, get ready for that story if it goes down this path. Ladies and gentlemen, the great Rob V, who had dinner with Garrett Wilson the other night, is on the line. Hello, Rob.
Yo, Jake, why you got to start off with the condescending bullshit, though?
Get over yourself, Rob. If you're offended about that.
I wanted to call in and have a nice, mature conversation with you. But what's with the condescending nonsense?
Because you're being condescending in the chat, so I'm going to give it right back to you.
You want to know why I'm being condescending, Jake? Because
why, Rob?
2 months ago, when I called in, okay, I'll tell you. Close your mouth and I'll speak, right? And then I'll let you go. So 2 months, when I called in, about 2 months ago, right? I told you that Aaron Rodgers was not going to be back because no new regime in the world would take on these two bad contracts, right? There's not a regime in the world that would have taken on A-Rod. It didn't matter if it was Aaron, Glenn, Muji, whoever. None of them would have, right? Why don't you give them credit for making their first right decision?
Because I don't agree with it, Rob.
My point being, though, in all of this is,
are different.
When I called and told you this, yeah, okay. However, opinions were opinions 2 months ago, but it turned out that I was right?
You were not,
and you
right.
called my take moronic. You called me an idiot.
Oh my God.
You call me a moron. You call me an idiot. But who was right?
That's not what happened. How do you always manage to completely twist whatever that conversation was? That's not what we're talking about, Rob.
Your go-to line is we twist your words. That's
you do.
Jake, we got receipts just like you. We got receipts.
Oh my God! You're calling to say I told you they were going to move on from Rodgers. Great, that was
Jake,
always the
you called my
outcome.
take about Rodgers not being back moronic.
That's not what happened. Find me the tape where I said that, Rob, and we'll play it on the show. Find me it.
What do you mean? Ask anyone in the chat. They'll tell you.
Why would I say
Ask
your opinion
Bill M.
that
He'll
Rodgers
tell you.
wouldn't be back is moronic? That was always the likely outcome here. I disagree with it, but that was more than likely than not the scenario here with the new regime.
That was my point all along until you hung up on me, called me moronic, said my take was idiotic.
I wouldn't call you moronic for saying that you don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to be back with the Jets. That's not what I would say.
Jake, I'm just pulling this out my ass, right?
Find me where I said that you're an idiot or moronic because the
I will find it. Ask
Please
Bill
do.
M. There's plenty of people in the chat that saw that phone call. There's plenty of people in your chat that saw it. Now, my second point in all of this is,
no one is agreeing
why
with
be so
you.
condescending and why you acting so salty because you were wrong? Like, at the end of the day, people can
What
share
was I
different
wrong
opinions.
about, Rob? I gave an opinion. They did a different move. No one's wrong here. We don't know how it's going to play out. Oh my God.
You were wrong.
Rob V
you said Rodgers would be back.
Whoa! Like, what are you arguing, dude? You wanted them to get rid of Rodgers. They did. I'm happy for you and your family. I hope it works out.
No. It's not that I wanted them to get rid of Rodgers. That's where you're going wrong. I didn't want it's not about Rodgers. It's about what was best for the franchise. That was my point.
I don't
You were on a Rodgers bandwagon.
No, I was pro bring Rodgers back because I believe he's their best option at quarterback.
Jake,
You disagree?
You flip-flopped.
No, I didn't.
4 months ago, you were let's can Rodgers. 2 months ago, after the Jaguars game, then you flip-flop back again. Stop. The proof's in the pudding. It's all
Rob.
there. Go back and watch
Rob.
your own shows if you have to.
Rob.
Until
Rob.
the Jaguars game and the fucking Dolphins game, you
You
were
mean
bringing
until
Rodgers back.
Aaron Rodgers played really well down the stretch, right? And if you look at the sample size over 10 games.
Padded stats against the worst defense in the league. Padded stats against the worst defense in the league and a team that mailed it in.
Rob. My opinion
1 for 6 on
changed.
game-winning drives.
Rob, based on how we played down
I know,
the stretch,
that's right.
and
Opinions change.
evaluating,
Yep, I got it.
and
I know.
evaluating, that's how this works, Rob. I'm not dead set in my ways, right? He played
This
well
is
down
my
the stretch.
point to you,
No.
though. It's not
No.
about Rodgers. It was about making the right business decision.
No, it's not. Oh my God!
It's not about
what-
how Rodgers played. I don't care.
Oh
I don't
my
care
God.
if Rodgers
Rob,
threw for
it's
50
about what's best
touchdowns.
for the Jets. I give an opinion on what I thought
Yes,
was best
thank
for the
you.
Jets. You are dead wrong.
I don't
because you
care if
don't
he
know
threw
how
for
to critically
50
think.
touchdowns.
It doesn't matter though. Like you
No,
didn't want
you're not
Rodgers back.
critically thinking. You weren't thinking ahead.
Hey, Rob,
You weren't-
make your final points
You weren't
here, and
thinking
then I'll
ahead.
respond.
You were thinking
No.
short term, not long
I'm thinking
term.
right now. So what's your long-term plan, Rob? You move on from Rodgers, and now what? What's your
Stop
long-term
with the
plan?
long-term plan. We don't have a crystal ball.
You just said I'm
We
thinking
don't have a
short-term.
crystal ball,
so Mr.
Jake.
Rob V, the genius that is the great Rob V, is
So the
thinking
long,
long-term.
okay.
Tell me the long-term plan, Rob. This is
Here's
now the
the
Rob V
long-term
show.
plan.
Buckle
You
up,
get-
baby. Grab your seatbelt. Grab
All right,
the
good.
shit
Put
bar.
me
I'm
single
Rob
screen.
V.
I'll give you the long-term
Let's go.
plan. Yo, Jake, the long-term plan was get rid of these bad contracts because any new regime in the history of the NFL is going to shred bad contracts, take all the bad money, get rid of it, bring in their guys, right? Because that's what new regimes do, right? It's simple math. 1 + 1 always equals 2. Always equals 2. Until you flip-flopped every other week, depending on if Rodgers played well or not.
That's not true. I've been bring Rodgers back probably since.
That's not true. Okay, Jake, stop.
What do you
watch
mean?
every day,
It's
Jake.
been-
Enough.
Rob, goodbye. Goodbye. You don't let me talk on my own show. I gave you the floor, and you just embarrass yourself and put great shame to your family. I mean, what are you doing? I mean, Rob, when Aaron Rodgers was really struggling in the middle of the year and looked done, yeah, I think I was like many people going like, this is not working. Time to move on. New information can't happen. Like, I don't know. He plays well down the stretch, dude. That influences my opinion. That influences Jet fans' opinions. That's all we're saying. He played well down the stretch, did he not? His last game against the Dolphins, he threw 4 touchdowns. He played well against the Jaguars, played well against the Dolphins. I think he's their best option. That's my whole point. Like, what are you arguing, dude? Oh my God, you flip-flop. No, I didn't. I've been bring Rodgers back for a while now. And then you try to say, hey, no, I went out there and I said a new regime is going to bring new people in and not bring Rodgers back. Congrats, man. Anyone could have told you that was likely the outcome here. What I was saying was, I don't think that's smart. I disagree with that. I think they could get one more year out of Rodgers and still try and establish this culture that everyone keeps using as a reason why we're getting rid of the guy, especially when you have someone like Rich Cimini predicting Kirk Cousins to be the quarterback and then saying, well, I had to move on from Rodgers, but I could see him going elsewhere and taking a team to the playoffs. And it's like, what? Of course. So why are we not having them do that for the Jets? That's been my point the whole time. Like, you think you're right because the Jets did what you said they were going to do. Great. I'm offering an opinion that I don't agree with what they did. I don't think it makes sense. Rob V, Jake, you were wrong. Admit it. What was I wrong about? I didn't say that they were going to keep Rodgers. I said that's what I would do. But tell me what I'm wrong about, Rob. The Rob V show, baby. Hey, for you to call me a flip-flopper, And then cite you wanted Rodgers gone at the beginning of the year or in the middle of the year, whatever you were saying during that nonsensical call, which is typical from you. At least your internet worked today, Rob. Great job, bud. And then and then you're like, how could you be condescending to me? I don't know, man, because you come on and you act like a jerk off. That's probably why. I mean, give me a break. Oh, you're a flip-flopper. No, you mean I watched him after the bye play reasonably well down the stretch and think that he's the best option? Yeah. I mean, okay, I'm a flip-flopper then. I think a lot of Jet fans who wanted Rodgers back then are flip-floppers too, if that's the case. And also, part of my opinion changing is Rodgers saying he'd be open to taking a pay cut, which I didn't think was possible. And then he also said that learning a new system is not a deal breaker for him. So I was like, okay, so if he's willing to take a pay cut, embrace a new offensive system, don't we have to at least consider it? But I'm a flip-flopper, Rob. Great. Because you were like, they're going to get rid of Rodgers because it's a new regime. Congrats, man. You got that one right. No one had that thought besides you, Rob V. You nailed it. Super chat from Aria, who writes in, wait, Rob thinks he's right because the Jets did what he projected? I think the Jets are going to be garbage for 3 years and Aaron Glenn is fired. When I'm right, can I rant? Yeah, call in. So I guess we now get to take credit for things now. Aaron says, this is what a losing team does to us. Shake my head. Yeah, I mean, 14 years without the playoffs. But don't worry. Rob V says, I'm thinking about the short term. So I say, are you thinking about the long term? And then he had no answer to that. But you know what, Rob? Keep up the great work, man. You got all the answers, apparently. Your opinion has never changed with new information. Like, I don't know. Quarterback got healthy and played well down the stretch and then said he'd be open to a pay cut. Just throwing that out there. Oh, all right. More calls, because what else are we doing around here? PBM is next. Hello, Mike.
Yo, the Jets are destroying the fans and the team inside and outside the building because we just can't win and we can't get it right. Oh man, I just
don't
want
worry.
to
We're
see.
thinking about the long term. We don't know what that long term is, but that's what we're thinking about.
I'm just dying to see a winning season. Can't believe I feel bad for these kids like Connor and Chris.
No, Connor's happy. This is what he wanted. He wants 4-13 football. He loves it.
Well, we're going 3-14. That's what I think. I think we're gonna draft like 3rd overall and miss out on Drew Aller and Arch Manning, and then we're stuck again, sucking and ruining it.
We might be. I hope not. Hey, shout out to Meet JoJo, who just signed up for the Patreon for the entire year.
I just hope that this is somehow the right decision, because I don't see it. And maybe I am a flip-flopper, because in the beginning of the season, I was all hyped up. And then after Denver, I was like, oh, I don't know. This is going to be a train wreck. And then the Patriots game, I was done. I had it out with Neil. I think that was after the Patriots game. And then towards the end of the year, I said, you know what? Maybe he got better, more healed. He's moving around. He's our best option. Let's run it back one more time. But no. So what do I know? I just feel like we punted on the season.
I just love how down you are. You watched one Jets drive and you said you were all in, and now you're saying 3 wins.
Yeah, because we're gonna have.
That was like 3 days ago, and I accurately predicted that. I said, don't worry, by September you'll have this team in the playoffs somehow.
Yeah, it's not happening. Yeah,
right.
Nope. We're gonna have the best case scenario: Justin Fields, who can't throw a 10-yard out as our quarterback. I don't know why everyone is gung ho about Fields. The guy can't throw short to medium routes.
Hey, you can run around, though. And look, we're thinking about the long term. So you got to remember that. No one knows what the long term is, but we're thinking about it. All right.
Well, I'm going to watch the game and all of them in misery like you and everybody else. Oh, God. I don't know, man. This sucks.
Look, it does right now. We'll see what they do, Mike. Hang in there.
Yep. Well, if they win 4 games, it'll be better than my prediction.
I can't wait for them to win like 5 and all these people to be like, we won 5. You said it couldn't be done. Congrats, man. Celebrate the 5-win season. Nothing like it. God, I can't take the losing anymore. It's out of control. Freddie writes in, I have your back, Jake. You 100% said if he played well down the stretch and took a pay cut, you'd be okay keeping him. Yeah. I mean, I've been pretty consistent on that. Now, let's be real. I'm sure after the Arizona game, I wasn't like, I got to keep him, but he played well down the stretch. I think he still has good football left in him. I think the Jets' biggest issue this year was the coaching, the collapse of the defense, the kicking. I think people are like, they won 5 games. You got to move on. Like, okay. Or we could critically think about this and be like, what if we keep him for a year and not create a hole at quarterback in a year where the quarterback class is not great and the free agent options stink? What if we delay having to get our quarterback and really put this regime on the clock? But no. Aria says these kids who have only seen losing have Stockholm syndrome. They love the losing because that's all they know. Oh, they love it. They want to just bathe in their own filth of losing. I get it. No, Rob V is claiming he was right, but no one knows what he's right about. Like, your opinion was that they were going to move on from Aaron Rodgers. Great. If I was betting on it, I would have said that's probably what happens. My opinion is that is the wrong decision. Not that they weren't going to do it. So, I don't understand. Oscar says, if someone paid $50, would you entertain another call with Rob V? Well, it's his show. It's the Rob V show, so absolutely. I'd do it for $5. I love Rob V. He's great, man. The guy got dinner with Garrett Wilson. They got the cream spinach. They got the steak. It's incredible. More of your calls right now. Let's say hello to Aurora on the line. Hello, Aurora. Where have you been?
I've been very busy, Jake. How are you?
I'm good. Despite the people in the chat thinking otherwise, I'm fine.
Yeah, it's been very interesting today to, hear your rants and what's going on and just kind of catching up with everything. I did not know Hawk moved to Australia. That's news to me. But I kind of feel very nostalgic, if that makes sense. I just kind of feel very bittersweet. Like, I'm happy that we're getting a new start with, like, a new regime with Muji and Glenn. But I'm also kind of sad because, we built so much up towards these last 2 seasons. And it's like we've been dissatisfied as Jets fans. And, I got to kind of hope that they know what they're doing. But, I just kind of feel like, kind of numb to the situation. It's just kind of like I just at this point, like, I just want to win and be competitive. And, like, I'm not saying, like, necessarily, like, I want us to make, like, a deep playoff run next year. I want them to show us, like, they're competent. And I want them to show us that, like, they are, like, wanting to win and bringing that culture back. So it makes it very challenging. But I was going to send you money to buy you a Snickers.
well, hold on a second. You don't think Kirk Cousins means you want to win?
I mean, not Kirk Cousins, no. No. I personally think if they want to go with a quarterback right now, I would rather them take on a rookie than they would take on, like, someone already in the league. I really would like to see if possibly our offensive staff can be competent in developing a quarterback. Because we have not done that for so long. Because it's kind of ingrained into us as Jets fans that we're not going to be able to develop players, And that's just kind of sad in my opinion. I feel like we should be changing that narrative and trying to develop players the appropriate way.
Look, if you believe in Aaron Glenn, you got to hope and trust that he hired a good coaching staff that could do it.
Yeah, and that's kind of like where I'm at is, like, I'm giving hope, but it's also like, I just hope that they know what they're making the right decisions with right now. Because, Aaron, despite, all the negatives last year, there were some positives. Devontae also being there halfway through the season, like, giving them a full off season to actually work together and get back on the same page and into an offensive scheme that works. That would have been nice. Even seeing the development with Garrett. But I don't know. I feel like we'll see what happens. I'm kind of like 50-50. I can understand both sides.
Yeah, look, I see the argument on the other side, but some of the reasons people have come up with, I think, are very stupid.
Yeah. But I was gonna send you money for Snickers because I think you need maybe a Snickers bar right now. So, but that's all I got, and I'll try to call in more. But been kind of crazy down here with what's going on.
Aurora, keep up the great work. We miss you as a regular, all right?
All right, sounds good.
The great Aurora representing the 4%ers on the line. Ladies and gentlemen, Aria says more Rob V. Oscar says more Rob V. Ladies and gentlemen, you want Rob V? It's his show, baby. Hello, Rob.
There we go. See? The superstar, baby, in the making. Jake, come. Don't put me on full screen. Come back. We're gonna have a mature conversation.
No, it's your show. It's your show.
No, I don't want it to be my show. I want a mature conversation with.
Kind of ironic that Rob V's anti-Rodgers and the guy leaves the show mid-call to go to a darkness retreat. Incredible. Amazing how that works. Rob, call back, man. We need more Rob V. The people are demanding it. All right. In the meantime, you get Kyle Clifton. Hello, Kyle.
Let me tell you, Aaron Rodgers is tearing this Asmaniac family apart.
To be fair, I think it's the Jets more than Rodgers, but yes.
Yes. So I was listening to or watching Ryan on 24/7, and he was kind of saying something that was kind of in the same vein that Rob V was saying about how new regimes were going to want to start over. And I get it. The fan in me kind of wanted to see what Rodgers could do if we could beef up the defense from year to year and with better coaching, better kicking. But, I can't begrudge them the fact that they want to move on. It's not just Rodgers' contract and the dead money in the future. It's not just Devontae's money and any money we move into the future. What Douglas did is he moved a lot of money into the future on guys that even this year aren't going to be on the team. So we're still playing Tyler Conklin, even though he's a free agent. We're still playing, the cornerback who's leaving as a free agent after this year. Tyrod, after he gets done playing this year, we'll be paying him out into the future with void years. That's kind of what he did to get this team ready for a Super Bowl, and kind of became pretty readily apparent that we weren't ready. So I don't blame these guys for trying to kind of tear it down and start anew with younger, cheaper guys. I don't understand why Connor Rodgers thinks that Derek Carr is going to be traded, because they're $64 million.
Hughes.
Oh, Connor Hughes, sorry. I don't understand why he thinks he's going to be traded, because they're $64 million over the cap, and if they give him the June 1 designation like the Jets are going to do with Rodgers, they'll save $30 million. So it's much more likely, in my opinion, that he's going to be cut with a June 1 designation.
Probably.
To me, we have to think of this in this way. This is a one-year placeholder for whoever we bring in to compete with Tyrod. Anything that we get from Travis is gravy. He's competing to look to see if he could ever be a backup quarterback in this league. That's our expectation for us. If he exceeds that expectation, terrific. That's gravy. You have to look at guys who maybe need a second chance to show it, and maybe shown glimpses before of that rogues gallery of players that you kind of trotted out before from Connor's list. I don't know who that is, but on a short-term deal, I hate to say this, and you kind of poo-pooed him because he did not have success here in New York. I think on a one-year deal, Daniel Jones makes a little bit of sense to compete with Tyrod.
Let's bring back the 2022 Giants quarterback room.
Yeah, for the reasons you said, Justin Fields is probably going to want to come. He's going to want more money. If he's getting that money, I think on an earlier call this month, people were like, well, you'd want to bring a competition for this. If he's demanding that kind of money, he's not going to have competition. Like a desperate team for a quarterback is going to give him an opportunity to win the job outright.
I'm glad we went from Aaron Rodgers to now Daniel Jones being an option. Just incredible.
Well, it's not about 2025.
Yeah, we're never going to win. It's never about winning, ever.
Well, the one thing I disagree with you about, Jake, is you want to see a playoff appearance. It has to be about building towards a Super Bowl appearance.
Why can't they do both? Why can't they do both? That's my point.
I don't think that they can do both with the money situation
with
with Rodgers. I don't think they can do it.
He was going to take a pay cut, Kyle.
Well, we don't know to what extent, and we don't know if necessarily that Tay was going to come with him with this. There was a lot of reports that saying Tay wanted out and wanted to go west.
Yeah, but that only came out after Rodgers had his meeting and they told him he was moving on. The timeline for that makes sense. The meeting, apparently, according to Samiti, was Tuesday of last week, which makes sense. And then Rodgers golfed with Devontae Adams, and then that report comes out.
But Jake, you'll admit there's a lot we don't know about these conversations.
I'm sure there is, Kyle. But like the idea that they can't compete and build at the same time, I don't think is true. I think you could do both, especially if it ends up being Kirk Cousins as the Jet quarterback next year.
No, it's entirely true that they might be able to do both. But my point is, we cannot begrudge these guys from wanting to start fresh. And that's all I'm saying.
No, that's their right to do it. Once again, I as long as they're the ones who made the decision, fine. I hope they're right. But my point is,
because what's going to end up happening is we'll have a crappy year with Rodgers, or we'll just miss the playoffs, or we'll just make the playoffs. Rodgers will decide to retire. We'll have a terrible year with a rookie quarterback in year 2. And these guys in Muji and Glenn are on 5-year deals. And by year 3, the owner gets itchy. So, that's why we can't begrudge them the right to move on in the way they want to proceed.
Okay, so no playoffs this year. They'll have a rookie next year, so no playoffs. And then year 3, they better make the playoffs.
Well, it depends on who the rookie is, right? We saw that in Washington that you will, on rare occasions, see guys that come in and start right away.
Yeah, the Jets are going to hit on the next Jaden Daniels. That feels realistic.
Well, I mean, the Patriots were a laughing stock until they weren't. The history is not a predictor of the future.
That's fair. I'm just telling you, like, a lot of what you're saying you want them to do, I think they could do with Rodgers back on a pay cut. So we'll see. I hope that there's this big, year coming. I don't see it. I think I smell the 4-13 from here. Oh, it smells terrible. South Philly wants more Rob V. Before we get to Rob V, who claims to have fixed his internet, I will acknowledge South Philly gifting 1 membership. And then I will acknowledge Craig in Australia, who's watching the show with Hawk and Sarah, gifting 5. 5 raffle entries for Craig in our Curtis Martin signed helmet and Wayne Corbett giveaway. 99 Jet is a channel member, as is the following 5 people: Sam Aiken, Med Team 3 parent, Sergey Mikolov, Sean O'Brien, and Carter, all receiving channel memberships there from Craig in Australia. Ladies and gentlemen, the people want more Rob V. So guess what? They're going to get it. Hello, Rob.
My man, dude. Come on. Enough with the personal attacks. Let's just have a mature conversation about this.
I'm giving you
That's
the
all
show.
I'm
What do you want
for,
from
bro.
me? I'm giving you the whole show. I called it the Rob
I don't
show.
want the whole show. I don't want
You're the one who
the
went
show,
in the darkness retreat.
I just
You
want to have a
stepped in there.
mature conversation
Then
about
get out
this.
of the darkness.
Jake, I've been waiting 2 months after you called me a moron, right? Then you called me idiotic for my Aaron Rodgers take, right? And now you're calling me a jerk off. But hold on. Who was the one who was acting like a 5-year-old yesterday, throwing the temper tantrum?
I don't think
you reminded me of my 5-year-old.
Rob,
You didn't get your way. You didn't get the
Rob,
toy. You didn't get the
I see
toy
what
you
you're
wanted.
doing.
So all of a sudden you throw a
Hold
tantrum.
on. I see what you're doing here. You did the classic. I called your take earlier or whatever. Or I said your comments earlier were you being a jerk off to me. Then you interpret that as I'm calling you a jerk off. Just like whatever your takes were that I called moronic. It's not personally you. I thought whatever you said then was moronic. I don't even remember what you specifically said, but whatever you said I said was not true, and people in the chat backed me up, which I knew. But anyway, continue, Rob. It's your show. My fault.
People in the chat backed you up?
Yeah.
I'll show you the Discord now about the people in the chat that are backing me up.
Oh, of course.
We could do that.
Rob V's got his own Discord, baby. He's a big-time content creator. Love it.
Come on. No. That's the difference between me and you content creators. You tippy toe. You
I give an
strangle a
opinion.
line where
I give an opinion.
you could make a take. You can make a take, right? And then
Yep.
when you're right, you could say you're right. And then when you're wrong, you could tippy-toe that boundary of, oh, that's not what I said. You misunderstood me. Get out
Like
of
what?
here. Enough with that.
Rob, you don't believe in
What?
you don't believe in an opinion changing when I didn't want Rodgers back when he was playing awful after the Cardinals game,
Jake,
so then he played well down the
that's
stretch.
what they all say when they're wrong. My opinion could change. My opinion could change.
Yeah,
It wasn't
opinions change,
about
Rob.
Rodgers. That's what you're not understanding.
Yeah, my opinion changed. It is about
This
Rodgers.
whole thing is not about Rodgers.
It is
It's
about
the
Rodgers.
long-term success of the New York Jets and sustainability. It doesn't. I don't care if Rodgers threw for 50 touchdowns.
So you
It
think
means
if Rodgers threw
nothing.
for 50
it's all about
touchdowns-
what was financially
Rob.
right for this team moving forward.
Rob, so if
Go
I'm
ahead,
understanding correctly, if you think if Rodgers threw 50 touchdowns, he wouldn't be the Jet quarterback in 2025, that's your opinion? That's your take?
No, no, he might be the Jet. No, with the new
Oh, he might
regime,
be.
absolutely not. But
Okay.
let's just.
Right.
I could see you, and maybe Bonesy and Rob from Glenhead's points. However, if it was, the same old regime like Joe and fucking Salah being back, but with a new regime, it's a business, Jake. These people have families to feed. They're not gonna they're not risking their careers on a 41-and-a-half-year-old quarterback, bro. It's just not realistic.
So if he threw 50 touchdowns,
And what?
you believe he wouldn't be
according
back?
to you're guaranteeing.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's tough to be Rob V when you have such dog crap internet, man. I mean, we're giving you the show, and you're failing, man. You're choking. I mean, come on, Rob. 50 touchdowns. He wouldn't be back. No. Of course not. Sure. Great call. Sam is in our raffle for 5. He has gifted 5 channel memberships. Sam, thank you for your service, my man. The following 5 people have now received channel memberships courtesy of Sam, Randy Martinez, Monkey Man Stan, Omari, NY in Atlanta, and Randy Martinez. Congratulations. You did it. Sam, thank you very much. We'll get you down in the raffle for those tuning in. We have added another prize in addition to the Klecko helmet. Or not Klecko, excuse me. The Curtis Martin Hall of Fame helmet. The signed Wayne Corbett jersey. We have now added a Joe Willie Namath Super Bowl III replica ring and a signed Aaron Glenn trading card. It will come with a display case for you to put it on. A display stand, I should say. It's the card's in a case, and there's a stand for it as well. It looks like this. I actually have it right here. I have one for myself. Oh, no. There it is. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, the people might want Rob V, but guess what? It's a sign from the football gods. Please, Jake, don't put him back on. Don't do it. We're going to keep making sure his Wi-Fi is dog crap. I'm like, okay, I get it. Jets Worldwide writes in, is it just me or do you see a pattern foaming here? Same bleep over and over again. It's amazing. Yeah. First-time quarterback, right? Or draft a rookie with a first-time play caller, first-time defensive-minded head coach. We're too good to have Aaron Rodgers for 1 year as a bridge. Can't do it. And if they draft a quarterback, you know that quarterback's going to play right away. They do it at 7. Does anyone have any confidence they're actually going to do the right thing and that guy's going to sit? Matt says, put Rob in the shadow realm. Nah, Rob's fine. Just got to get better internet. You content creators, your opinion keeps changing. Yeah, man, that's called, I don't know, watching the games and letting new information form my opinion. If you asked me after the Cardinals game, do I want Rodgers back? I would have said no. But then if you asked me after the last 6 games post-bye and then look at the alternatives, I'd say, yeah, I bring him back. On the condition is that he'd take a pay cut, which he said he would do. And Connor Hughes, I tweeted, or it might have been Jordan Schultz, one of the guys who covers the Jets or the NFL, tweeted that it wasn't about money for the Jets. It was about culture. And I just think that's silly. I think Aaron Rodgers helps your culture by winning games. I don't think this was about money. Ladies and gentlemen, Jets Johnny is in the raffle with a 20 spot. Holy crap. Sound the alarm. Let's go.
It's the Asmaniac membership raffle. For every membership gifted, you receive one ticket entered in the raffle to win epic prizes.
20 names to read off, baby. Yeah. Let's go. Here we go. 20 goddamn names. Thank you to Jets Johnny for coming through for the people. Here we go. YouTube, give me the names. Christopher Casio, Demolition Smash, Carl Clark, Smiley GOE, Lucky Luke, Aaron Quinaz, Dirty Raygun, Daniel Lopez, Big Bert, Fernando B, Michael Caslin, Ross, Source Gardner, Jet Fan for Life, Brian Edwards, Ernie, Evo DeNicholas, Manny D, Mazel Tov, all receiving channel memberships from Jets Johnny. Let's go. But wait, there's more.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
Sam is in the raffle again with another 5 entries. He gifted 5 memberships on top of the ones he already gifted Sam. Thank you. Mackenzie Bates, Thomas Hibbert, Tom D, Tyler Raines, all receiving channel memberships. Thank you to everyone who continues to support the show. Aaron writes in, the only show where the host is not afraid to go head-to-head. Jake makes takes upon new information. Yeah, man. It's like almost like I have a 10-year career in sports talk radio. Like, you watch the games, you form different opinions. New information comes out. But you said this about November. Yeah, I mean, over the last 6 weeks, Aaron Rodgers played well enough where I'd want him back. No one's saying he's the MVP. I think he's their best option. Did you see the list of quarterbacks we went through before? You're going to tell me Aaron Rodgers would not be the best option to win next year? Really? June the GM. Connor Long wants to debate you on Rodgers. Connor Long just wants to see this team win 4 games because that's all he knows. He loves it. 4 wins, baby. Jets Johnny says, I need that signed Corbett. We'll settle for the Cormanis. 31 AGHC. I appreciate it. You want game worn Gourmatis, Jets Johnny? Maybe I'll send you a pair. Christopher says, Christopher gifted 1 Jake Asman membership. Dub74 is the recipient. Dustin says, Jake, would you have Tyrod back in 2026 if he throws 50 touchdowns next season? Yeah, you know what, Dustin? I think I would. And something tells me if Aaron Rodgers threw 50 touchdowns this year, despite what Rob V said, he'd be back with the Jets as well. You know, but that's just my opinion, though, Rob. Johnny Boy Bonnie has gifted 10 channel memberships. Yeah.
It's the Asmaniac membership raffle. For every membership gifted, you receive 1 ticket entered in the raffle to win epic prizes.
Here we go. 10 more names. Shout out to Johnny Boy for coming through. The following 10 people. Central Florida Jet, James Fitzpatrick, Pocono Jet, David Gerard, Carlos Piscoria, Bruce Hayden, Chris Daly, Kona, Hold the Onions, E.K. Lambert, all receiving channel memberships. Love it. Thank you very much, Johnny Boy. Aria writes in, who remembers the 97 draft, the year Peyton Manning was supposed to come out? Jets had the number 1 overall pick, and he did what? Return to school, so sucking the season won't give us Archie. History repeats itself. Yeah, I mean, I do know that story well. I mean, if Parcells had told Archie that they were going to draft a number 1, Peyton Manning would have been a Jet, goes the story, according to people that covered it. Anthony says, Jake's season hasn't started yet, and it's a wash. I mean, I hope not, but how am I supposed to feel great about the season? Rob V is now a capologist. He says, Jake, it's not about the stats. You're right, Rob. So if he threw 50 touchdowns, he wouldn't be back, according to you. Genius. Look, man, you're entitled to your opinion. Sarah writes in, watching Jake in this oversized helmet is exactly what I need on this Tuesday morning. You know, they say this helmet is a chick magnet. You know, I'm going to walk around New York City tonight and wear this thing and see how we do. Craig writes in, Jake, I am your father. Hello, Craig. What else we have here? Bomber says, I think Justin Fields can lead this team. He'd be my preference to bring in. I just don't think you're going to be able to bring him in. Aria says, next raffle, Jake Asman game-worn helmet. Ugh. I'll tell you, this thing is truly game-worn. That's our new thing. When someone gives 20 memberships, I wear the helmet for a decent chunk of the show. Let's see. Hit the like button if you're just tuning in, by the way. Kyle Clifton says, if Rob V saps airtime from Beastbreaker, I'm definitely okay with it. I see. Strong take there from Kyle. Let's get to more of your calls. Let's say hello to Will Nef. Hello, Will.
Hey, how we doing, Jake?
What's up, Will?
Not too much, man. Just got back from New Orleans. I want to throw some names your way that you haven't talked about yet. I don't think. Probably names that you will not be excited about, but I'd love to hear your opinion. First off, Joe Milton. He kind of popped off at the end of the season. I know he's a Pat right now. I don't think they would deal with us, but he seems to have a lot of physical gifts. And then the other two guys, second-round draft guys, Jackson Dart and Kyle McCord. I think both of them actually have some talent. I think, the top of the board guys are getting pushed up. So would you ever see a situation where Jets go defense first round, get one of the big names off the board, and then go quarterback second round?
Yeah, I definitely could see it. I don't mind those names like on day 2. You could sell me on Dart if it's like the end of the first round. Like, I look at what the Ravens did when they took Lamar. He was the 32nd pick in the first round. They traded into the first round to take him so they could get the 5th-year option on them. So, like, that would make some sense to me. Now, you said you were in New Orleans. Will, I'm guessing you were at the Super Bowl?
No, I was actually doing some content with the Williams brother and Jermaine Johnson. I play video games for a living, so I was playing Madden with them. Yeah.
So, wait, were you on Radio Row when they were with Bounty on Tuesday?
No, I was with them the day after over at a Twitch event, but they both seemed to be in like good spirits. They both loved Aaron. They were kind of bummed about, him ultimately probably heading out. But I mean, this is the best. Like, I'm optimistic. I know that's foolish, but maybe it's because I'm a lifelong Jets fan. And like, this is usually the best part of the season for us, is to be like, hey, look at all these wonderful options, have hope. But this last season was tough, man. This last season was
now, Will, so full disclosure, I don't know anything about video games, but I'm getting a ton of people hitting me up right now that you are like massive in the video game space. So apparently you're a big deal. So I appreciate you tuning into the show, man.
Dude, I watch you all the time. I think you are one of the more sane voices in the Jets fandom. I think, it's very Jets to be super up and down, and you're usually a very reasonable take. So I watch you pretty much everything you do. So
I appreciate that, man.
I'm calling in though.
Well, yeah, I knew something was up right away when I saw the setup. I'm like, he's got the Shure mic. I'm like, he's got the gaming. I'm like this. And then I saw the chat start going on, and I just got like 3 texts from people that I guess are watch your streaming on Twitch. So that's awesome.
Yeah, man. I would love to, if you ever want me to tune in for anything or come in for anything, or if you ever want to come do something on Twitch, let me know. I'd love to come around. But yeah, man, I actually, just from my own take, Joe Milton and Jackson Dart for me are like, dude, Joe popped off in that one game he got in. He looked like, I know he wasn't playing against anybody incredible, but like, he's a guy, just a young guy, like take a flyer on him. And then Jackson Dart.
You think New England will trade him to the Jets though?
Well, now that Belichick is gone, is like, if it was still Belichick head coach, no shot, right? Never going to happen in a million years. I don't know with that new head office, if they still have the same level of like loathing for the Jets that Belichick had. I don't know. Cause like they have their guy, right? Do they really want a quarterback controversy, or is Milton willing to sit on the bench and be a backup? I don't know. I don't know what his team is going to say.
I always get nervous when someone dominates the last game of the season. Remember Matt Flynn did the same thing, and he was so. Yeah. But I mean, Jackson Dart intrigues me because he has the traits of being good. I think he's taken less than like 30 snaps under center in his career. So he would need to be someone that sits and develops and not plays right away. So if you took him, like, okay, I'm fine with that, but I wouldn't do it at pick 7, like some people have said.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the really sad one is, like, my understanding is that Jordan Travis, they're really worried that, he might never touch a field again in a meaningful capacity, which is really sad. But I think that injury was way worse than people thought.
I mean, he was supposed to be cleared for training camp to practice.
Yeah.
And it just never happened. He had multiple setbacks. Like, I don't know. I don't know if you could expect anything from him. Like, anything, if he ends up developing into a long-term backup for them, that's a win for a 5th-round pick.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to take up too much of your time, but man, that Rob V is hilarious, dude. He reminds, I feel like I'm back home in Long Island. Like I time warp back to Long Island every time he's on. So thanks for always doing your thing, Jake.
Where
Long time fan.
Where on Long Island are you from?
Greenvale, Oyster Bay.
Okay, I'm from Syosset. That's right there. Love that.
Hey, look at us. All these years later and still suffering as Jets fans.
Well, I'm going to shoot you a follow on IG, man. That's awesome. Nice to connect with you.
Good talking with you, man.
Will Nef checking in. I got to start watching Will's streams, man. Support a fellow Asmaniac. I don't know anything about video games, though, so I'm not going to pretend like I knew. But I got a bunch of people telling me Will's a big-time gamer. He's got 120,000 people that follow him, including Jermaine Johnson. So there you go. Well, good stuff, man. Appreciate that. Will Nef goated, says the chat. How about that? Will Nef's and Asman. We had Hoodie Allen call in today and Will Nef all on the same day. And we had Gary V on the other day telling me off air that he watches the show, which I knew, by the way. I've been trying to get Gary V on forever, but his people just never were able to make him available. And I finally got to the person above the people for Gary V, and that's how we made that happen at Radio Row last week. Nate says 500K on Twitch, 150K on YouTube. That's crazy. Will, you're the man. Appreciate the kind words. He's got 3 times the amount of subscribers on YouTube that I have. And he's watching this crazy show. Appreciate it, Will. Continued success in the gaming world. Janice Jet has gifted 5 channel memberships. She is in the raffle, I should say, for 5.
It's the Asmaniac membership raffle. For every membership gifted, you receive 1 ticket entered in the raffle to win epic prizes.
Janice, thank you very much for supporting the channel. 5 more names have been added. Thank you very much. Rob V, I see that one of my mods timed you out for saying, you sit back typing on your keyboards. I'm outside. So any of you jerk off clowns talking bleep, I'm not only outside all the events, I give both my addresses on air. Come see what's up. So that is the latest from Rob V, who was timed out by one of our mods for, I guess, threatening the chat. So there you have it, folks. Dante writes in, what was the nature of Jordan Travis' setback? We heard about Deshaun. Do we know what exactly Travis' setback was? Ulbrich never said when he was asked. He just said he had a setback. I mean, Jordan Travis had a fractured and dislocated ankle. Like, his leg exploded. South Philly super chat. Just Beast versus Rob V Rumble is long overdue. I don't think it would last very long. Rob V's internet keeps giving out. David Atkins is in our raffle now with a channel membership gift. David, appreciate you. Nate says, I'm outside on my bicycle. Nate, I'm happy for you and your family. Let's get to more of your calls now. Let's say hello to Lasal. Hey, Lasal.
Oh, hey, what's up, man? Hey, what's
How
up,
are
man? I've been wanting to talk on this on these two streams ever since the whole news happened, and I finally got in. Thank God. Sorry that my hair looks like an anime character.
You look great.
but I would say my opinion on it. I'm going like I've been loving Aaron Glenn since the press conference and Darren Muge. I don't know that much about him just yet. So I'm gonna keep the faith with him no matter what they do. But I will say, and this is not like against anything with Aaron Rodgers and stuff, but I'm half Italian, so I have a Nana. And when I told her about the news that Aaron Rodgers was reported to be out on the Jets, she was like, oh, so they saw the light. because she didn't like the losing either. Like she's not like a big like Jet fan. Like he's more interested in like both teams, the Giants and the Jets. So it was a horrible like football season for her. But
She roots for
didn't
both
like
teams.
Yeah, she was football. She's
such a fraud. Come on. She can't root for both. Pick a team. You can't root for both. That's fraudulent fandom.
but
you tell Nana that she's a fraud for me, all right?
Yeah. No,
right.
I'm not gonna tell that. That's my Nana, bro.
Oh, come on.
But the thing is that I will say the one thing that made me want like that made me think about getting rid of Aaron Rodgers is because this roster is not great, and not great as people think it is. There's a lot of fucking holes, and Aaron Rodgers was not going to solve that problem as much as people want to believe. Like it's not going to solve the problem, and it will just and the year will end. I feel like as a really still like not like better because we got Aaron Glenn, and I feel like he's a great goddamn coach. But it will just turn out the same. Like we're not going to the playoffs. We're not doing anything. I still think that Aaron Glenn had the potential.
Did the Chargers have a lot of holes when Jim Harbaugh got there?
No, not really.
No, not really. I think they did actually.
No, I don't think they did. The problem that they had was the coach and the offensive line, and they solved that in one draft.
That's all. Those were their only issues.
That's for me. I felt like the Chargers had a great team. It's just that Brandon Stanley was a horrible coach. Right. And we saw that the year before too. Remember, they were in the playoffs, and what happened when they were in the playoffs? They had a huge lead, and he blew it.
The previous year, the Jets
they should have fired him then.
Right. Well, the previous year, the Jets won 7 games with the 32nd ranked offense. So I would say they had some talent then too. No.
Yeah, we did, but
so we're going to use 2 years ago.
We're trying to get a lot of holes.
So specifically with last year, right? You believe that the Chargers had no holes besides coaching?
No, not just coaching. I said offensive line,
right?
And let's see.
How about receiver? Remember they cut Mike Williams and they traded Keenan Allen?
Oh, wide receiver again. They also solved that by getting Lamb McConkey.
Yeah, they really didn't solve it. They found a guy who was playable in the draft. They still have a huge need at receiver, but they were still able to make the playoffs somehow. How? Oh, J.K. Dobbins was really good for them as a free agent sign. They ran the football effectively, and they had really good coaching. You mean the Jets can't the Jets can't do what the Chargers just did? There's no way that happens.
I don't know. It's just here's another thing I will say. It is just speculation. And anything could happen in a month. Anything could happen in a couple months, man. Because they're not gonna release them like this month. They're gonna wait if they do release him. They're gonna wait until June.
No, they're not.
No, they are. That's what people are saying.
No. They're gonna use a June 1st designation on him, which you're allowed to do for 2 players.
Oh, okay.
Anything else you want to be wrong about?
Okay. I'm just saying, man. I'm keeping
good stuff. Appreciate the time, man. Come on, man. If you're gonna call in and just be wrong about everything you say, how long do I got to sit there and pretend like I'm interested? I mean, give me a break, man. The Chargers had no holes besides coaching. Okay. Go talk to a Charger fan about that. I mean, they're not going to release him until June. Things could change. Now they're going to post June 1 him, man, which means they're going to do right by Rodgers in this scenario. He could sign with other teams. Sorry to be a dick, dude. I don't have patience anymore. I cannot with some of these calls. Dante writes in, Long Island represent, former Deer Park right here. Strong Island, Dante. Appreciate it. More of your calls here. I'm going to go to someone that I know is always on point. I'm going to go to someone that I know I could trust. I'm going to go to someone I know that is going to be able to calm me down and talk me off the ledge. There's one guy for that, and here we go.
I got my Iron UG. I hope you like my Jets take. You know they call me David T. It's not easy for me to see, but if you bring me full stream, you might like what I had to say. I'll need to get real damn close, cause my vision is dog shit.
Hi, Jake. Hi, Jake.
Hello, David.
How the heck are you?
I'm good, David. I needed a nice soothing call here after the run that we've been on with some of these other ones.
I think I can be a little more soothing today. I'm better today than yesterday. And your callers that, give you a little bit of tussle and talk about what they believe in and all that kind of stuff. It's all due to they respect you, buddy. If not, they'd be going to another channel. So you could feel good about that, And
I appreciate it, David.
Yeah. And just to get to the point, my feeling, I hope I present this right. People that say, it's all about the Jets' future. Yes, I believe that's true, but you can't look that far into the future until you concentrate on the present. And I'm better with the Aaron Rodgers thing. I'm trying to wean myself and accept it and all that kind of stuff. But I just still can't justify it. One more year with Rodgers, it would have helped all the way from the owner down to the cleaning person at the facility. And I bet you if I was a cleaning person at the facility and I wanted to talk to Aaron Rodgers, I bet you he would talk to me. And, so I just want to compliment him. And I'll get over it,
I'll tell you what. I wish David T could be in these meetings with the Jets because they need the David T passion in these meetings. Let's be real.
Well, thank you, sir. Yes, I am. I'm a Jet fan ever since I'm a kid, and no matter what, and my parents and I can tell you one story about my father was sick with cancer, and it was my birthday, and he says, David, I want to buy you. They knew how much I love the Jets. I want to buy you a birthday present, and he maybe had so many more months to live, and so it didn't really take me too much to think about it, and I bought a Wayne Corbett jersey, and it's hanging in my closet. So if that's
I hope you win the sign. David, I'll tell you what, I'm going to, at some point, gift some memberships this week, and I'm going to make sure that we get some raffle entries with your name on it so you have a chance to win the signed Corbett jersey.
Well, you don't have to do that, Jake. I'm just happy to be part of your show, and I love it, and I don't know what else to say, buddy.
Well, David, keep up the great work, all right? You're the man.
Thank you, sir.
I got my Iron UG. I hope you like my Jets take. You know they call me David T. It's not easy for me to see. Sometimes when I have a few drinks, I slip and fall and break my face. Not that my vision was bad enough. Now I have this dog shit scar.
The great David T. Awesome LA says, I said O-line and receiver as well, but it's all good. I'm an a-hole too. Awesome LA. Email me, Asman Jake. I'm sending you a merch item. All right. I appreciate you calling in. I couldn't. I was out of patience. All right. But I appreciate you tuning in. My point to you is simply the Chargers won 5 games with Justin Herbert. So when everyone says, Rodgers only won 5 games, it's like, are we watching the games? Brandon Staley was probably the worst coach in the NFL last year. I think what Jeff Ulbrich was that. Probably worse, if we're being fair. Like, we act like, oh, they only won 5 games. It's like, yes, and they also led the NFL in blown fourth quarter leads. That's coaching. That's what I'm saying. I don't think it's like, oh, this is a rebuild. It's not a rebuild. There's teams all the time that turn it around in a year. I got to listen to Samini on his podcast be like, well, they had to get rid of Rodgers as a culture. But I wouldn't be surprised if he goes somewhere else and takes a team to the playoffs. That's my point. Why can't we be that team? Culture my ass. And then you're going to predict Kirk Cousins is going to be the quarterback. Some of you like, Wild Wave. It's a rebuild. No, it's not Wild Wave. You want it to be because you want to smell the losing. There's nothing that would excite Wild Wave more than losing, right? Wild Wave. You love it. Love it. Can't get enough of it. Big Rush says Rob V sounds like Mike Tyson. I mean, I don't know, man. Clay Hobbs, it's a rebuild. Rip it down to the studs and build through the trenches. I mean, are you dumb or stupid, Clay Hobbs? Build through the trenches. You mean like the young stud left tackle they have on the team? Or the young stud center they have on the team? Or the guy... Or the Jets starting offensive line right now, 4 of the 5 guys are under contract at the average age 25 years old. Build through the trenches. You have Quinnen Williams, Will McDonald, and Jermaine Johnson under contract. Build through the trenches. Rip it down. It's a rebuild. You're an idiot. I'm sorry. All right? This is not rip it down to the trenches. What do you think this is? God!
Aaron isn't as committed as a lot of the young guys. He's not going to sit and watch game film all weekend. And I think he's aging faster than other guys.
You want to build through the trenches, draft a really good defensive lineman at pick 7. That makes sense. Strip it down. Why are we stripping it down? There's talent on the team. They won 7 games without a quarterback 2 years ago. This year, the same GM who put that team together punted on the defensive line. And the kicking situation, which cost them games. Jet Nation says, Jake, do you value a Super Bowl win equally to a playoff win? I'm going to ask you the same question I asked the last guy. Are you dumb or are you stupid?
Listen to yourself. You sound demented. Just go away, please. I can't stand it anymore.
I love the idea that because I'm arguing we should try and fight for a playoff spot next year. That means that if they don't do that, right, they move on from Rodgers, it's because they have the vision of winning the Super Bowl. Hey, jackass, they haven't won more than 7 games in a decade. Haven't made the playoffs since 2010. Haven't had a whole playoff game since 2002. And you're going to try and lecture me that, going to the playoffs doesn't mean anything. Jake, you're so short-sighted because you think a playoff win is the same as a Super Bowl win, as if either of these things are guaranteed with no matter what they do. Are you nuts? You're thinking Super Bowl right now? How about stop being the biggest joke in the NFL? How about winning games? All right? But no. Apparently, I'm thinking too short-sighted for trying to win games next year. God forbid. Oh, my God. I can't take it anymore, man. I cannot. You people love losing. You love it. You just want to bathe in your own filth of losing. I'm sick of it. Win football games. Who gives the team the best chance to win? That's what it should be about. Dorino checks in. We won 2 games before we got CJ and competent coaching, and 10 the next year, much less Aaron Rodgers. It can be done. Of course it can be done. My argument is there's no CJ Stroud available for the Jets in the draft. Otherwise, I'd say you got to move on. Believe me, I was there. I lived it. I didn't move to New York until April last year. I saw all of it. Ladies and gentlemen, Mets 2128 is next up. Hello, Mets.
Hello, Jake. If you're to ask me, I think the fault falls on both sides, like you're saying. On the one hand, Aaron Rodgers' ego was just driving this team up a wall with how he basically tried to remold this 2020s Jet squad into a 2010 Packers squad, which just doesn't work. With all the players he brought in, Al Lazard, Randall Cobb, and a few other players that I don't remember the names of, but you get my point. On the other hand, the apathy of the front office to let Aaron basically run rough, let the inmates run the asylum is also what drove me up a wall this year. If Aaron Rodgers was gonna leave because of the fact he wanted full creative control, let him walk. I mean, the fact that after the Minnesota game, the fact we sacked Robert Saleh, who basically gave us one of the most GOAT tier defenses, no matter how bad or good the offense was, and we let the D-line suffer for that and never recover, is a sign that it was Rodgers who, in my view, was the prospective cancer. Sure, you could also say Joe Douglas for not doing anything, and Woody for being a numbskull and basically picking people based on their Madden ratings.
You think Rodgers wanted Saleh fired? Is that what you're saying?
In a way, yeah.
I don't think he did. In fact, I know for a fact he didn't and was pissed off when it happened, and that had a major role in his relationship with Woody being fractured because everyone blamed Rodgers for it and called him a coach killer when he had nothing to do with it.
Oh. But then what about with Joe Douglas?
I mean, Joe Douglas wasn't going to be brought back. The team was bad this year. He was at the end of a 6-year contract.
Oh. Well, either way, a lot of people, from what I heard, said that Aaron Rodgers has a bit of an overkill bad attitude. Dude,
Not his teammates.
I'm just saying, dude, you only won 1 Super Bowl. That doesn't give you the necessary clout of someone who's won like 2 or 3 or even 4 Super Bowls. You're not on the level of someone like an Eli Manning, a Pat Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, or even Tom Brady, dare I say it.
Wait, stop it. What do you mean he's not on the same level as those guys?
I mean, yeah, he can get.
You don't think Aaron Rodgers is a better quarterback historically than Jalen Hurts or Eli Manning? Aaron Rodgers is probably one of the 5 greatest quarterbacks to ever play. He's won 4 MVPs. He's got the best touchdown to interception ratio ever.
Still didn't beat the GOAT twice.
I get it, but Eli Manning has never made an all-pro team. Count the amount of times Rodgers has been first-team all-pro.
Okay, fair enough. But my point is,
all right,
if there was going to be so much turmoil after Saleh got pink slipped, and they were going to force him to walk, and quietly force him to walk.
Yeah, so that's on the owner. That's not on Rodgers. The owner is the one who fired the head coach. Maybe the season would have been a little different. I have my doubts. I think they would have been better than 5-12, though, if they kept Saleh.
I mean, if they kept Saleh, they probably would have just ended up the way they spent the last 2 years, 7-10, and that's at best.
Yeah, because I think ultimately Saleh was not a great coach. That was the problem.
And again, I think in my view, the Jets are in the same boat as the Giants. They're constantly picking coordinators, first-year coordinators, who are nowhere near qualified to be head coaches, and it constantly shoot. It's constantly a shot in the foot.
So how do you feel about Aaron Glenn? He's also a first-time head coach who's never comes from the defensive side of the ball.
I'll let the chips fall where they fall with him. But I'm just saying, as bad as it is with the Jets, at least they're not the Giants, who are my team. But it's 10 times worse because John Mara is an arrogant piece of garbage who can't see the forest for the trees when it comes to coach selection.
Are you a Giants fan and a Jets fan?
Yes.
Come on. What are you, Bobby Midnight?
I live in the Carolinas, so it's difficult to get both teams down here.
Well, you got to get Sunday Ticket. YouTube TV. Is this your first time calling the show, Mets 2128?
Yes. I'm more of a frequent on Midnight Mike's show.
Midnight Mike. Big fan of Midnight Mike. He does a great job.
But my point is...
Yeah, what is your point?
This team needs to get its act together from top to bottom in 25.
I agree.
Don't care who they get with pick
Now,
number 7.
do you think that they made themselves a better team by getting rid of a guy who had the 3rd greatest statistical season by touchdowns and yards in franchise history?
In all honesty, no. But with the way the relationship was going south between Aaron and the front office, it's best to just cut ties.
Well, we don't know if their relationship gone south because it's new people. He met with them and they made their decision.
I don't really know how. Well, still, new year, don't know how they play out. Maybe next season, maybe you use Tyra as a bridge and then you get someone in 26. Maybe you draft I don't know, Jalen Milroe this year. Who knows how they're going to go in the draft? But they got to do something right.
Holy Mets, 2-1, 2-8. Purple Belt Mike has had enough of your call, so we thank you for your service, but unfortunately, we have to send you to the hole.
Now look what you've done. No more protection from the Asmaniacs. Had to pull you out of the chat and cast you down with the sodomites. Some time in here will feel like you've been run over by the lane train. You understand me? You catch my drift? Give them another 24 hours to think about it.
Man, that's tough. That's tough. Mike had enough. Now, Mets 2128. I think that was your first call on this show. I'd love to keep interviewing him. If someone could pay the bounty, bring him back. I mean, I'll put him right back on. I think he's got some potential. All right, I was feeling him out there. Jet Giant fan, can't watch the games in Carolina. I bring up Bobby Midnight. He mentions Midnight Mike. That has all the ingredients. Oh, yeah. Anyway, Kyle says, I like this guy better than Beastbreaker too. Ladies and gentlemen, since NY or Mets guy is in the hole, maybe we check in with someone that could give him some advice on what to do when you're in the hole.
You know what time it is? A Beastbreaker 666. I'm gonna take my fist and shove it up your ass, and then he gotta go.
Beast, can you give any advice to the guy who just got sent to the hole?
Let me sorry. Just learn to relax. We'll be okay. Just be yourself. And can we sponsor this, please? Ladies and gentlemen, get your Jake Asman t-shirts. Also, get the Bobby Midnight t-shirt and the Beastbreaker t-shirt. Also, get the Asmania hacks live at the Jake Asman store. Also, can we also sponsor the Hughes House? And don't forget, get those Charles Groman boxers. They're brand new. They're on the market. And if you want them now, get them right now. And can we get some memberships going up in the... We got a
Now look what you've done. Beastbreaker 666. No more protection from the Asmaniacs. Had to cut your call off and cast you down with the sodomites. Some time in here will feel like you've been run over by the lane train. Do you understand me? You catch my drift?
Are you seriously on crack? I think
Give them another 24 hours to think about it.
How about you bending over and taking up the booty hole behind the 7-Eleven?
We will see you later. Rick Ken had enough of Beastbreaker for today. Now, Beast, you could say hi to Mets 2128. What was the guy's handle? He's in the hole. Man, that's tough. The Beast was just trying to, do his job as our marketing merch model. Showing off the Jake Asman tee, which you can get at jakeasman.com/shop. Which I highly recommend. I have some breaking news here. If my internet would load, here we go. I need to get a new computer. This thing, it's overheating. We believe that's the problem. Hold on. Jets Johnny paid for Mets to be released. I'm back. I don't know what happened there. I hold myself. What I was trying to do was get the Jets Johnny's $50 super chat. He paid the bounty to bring back our dear friend who made his show debut, Mets 2128. So Mets 2128. If you're out there, you were making some salient points. I'd love to get you back on the program here. Bad PBM. Get this bum beast off my screen. So wait a second. Hold on. If I'm following correctly, Rick Kent paid the bounty to get rid of Beastbreaker. But then Jets Johnny says, get this bum beast off my screen. Is that a double negative? Does that mean that Jets Johnny accidentally posted bail for Beastbreaker to return? Ladies and gentlemen, in a shocking turn of events, it is happening. Just kidding. Come on now. We couldn't do that. We respect the bounty around here. All right, more of your calls here before we wrap. Mario is up next. What's up, Mario?
Hey, what's up, Jake? How you doing, man?
What's up, man?
First time caller, and I love your show, and so, we're already getting aggravated before even the season starts, which is typical Jets fashion. Yeah, man, I think that this is like basically what the Jets fans have been suffering for all this time, man. It's just like every time offering rebuild, when it's like common sense, like that Aaron Rodgers is the best option out there. Like, we've seen it this season, right? It wasn't perfect, but it's way better than whatever is being offered out on the table. You know what I mean? On the market. So I don't know, man. It's just crazy, man. It's just
the pain never stops.
Frustrating, man. I've been a fan since the Esiason era, Boomer Esiason. So, it's been nothing but the great majority of just frustration and stress and aggravation, Well,
so, I'd like to think that one day it will all be worth it. I don't know when that day is coming.
Dude, and it'll be so sweet. You know what I mean? It'll be awesome. But it looks like it never ends, bro. It looks like it never ends.
No.
Like, it's just, I lose faith, as you get older, you start losing more patience, and you're done with it, So, I mean, look, I don't know, man. I don't know what they're planning. I'm assuming that they have a plan in place. They can't just make this move without having a plan in place. But it surely is not going to be something better than Rodgers. I don't think so. I mean, I don't think there's anything that on the market you could just see the market, and there's nothing there.
Yeah, they would need to get a break if they draft a rookie. That guy is incredible. You know what I mean? Like, they would need that. Which, like, I guess that's not a plan. That's a hope. We're hoping for that. It's not realistic. I was hoping Christian Hackenberg would be good. He never even played. I'm like, oh, they took him in the second round. Maybe the Jets are the team that saw something in him. No one else did. You know how dumb that is? like we're just hoping. We don't know. It's
exactly.
Unlikely.
We're going on blind faith right now for next season, right? Like, obviously you want to be the most positive fan and say, look, this is going to turn out to be but the history has told you that, it's been bad. It's been bad. And like, we never have been a team that had a dominant season. Like, we've always been like a 5th or 6th seed going into the playoffs, right?
Yeah, we never had a Lions year where they're the 1 seed. I agree.
Yeah, and like, with the exception with Chad Pennington that year that they won the division. But
yeah, but that was a 9-17. The one year the Jets were dominant was in '98. They were 12-4. They were the 2 seed. They had the first round bye.
Right. And I think that's the only time. And like, the rest has always been, outside looking in, or losing the option at the last game of the season. I guess with the Bills, a game with the Bills, I think a couple of years ago with Fitzpatrick, I think it was, that we didn't go to the playoffs. But yeah, like, it's just so frustrating, dude. And I feel your frustration, and dude, we haven't even started the season, and you're already all like going crazy, bro. I mean, we still got a whole full season left, so just stay calm.
I don't know if I'm making it to the season, Mario. The way this offseason is started, I don't know if I'm getting to September or whatever it is next year.
Crazy. Oh, I want to special thanks for you hooked me up last season for a pair of tickets to the Texans game, so I want to appreciate that. That was like the highlight of the season with the Gary Wilson catch and everything. So,
you were were you in our section, or I had other tickets to the game?
No, I was up all the way at the top. But dude, I had a blast, bro. It was awesome.
Oh, so. You were the one who tagged me in the video on Twitter of the catch, right? You had like a sick view of it.
I think so. Yeah. And you going to England next season or no?
I hope so. I had a great time this past year. I don't have my schedule that far in advance radio wise, so I guess we'll see. We'll see. I want to go though. I had a great time last year.
Oh, awesome. All right, man. Thanks for taking my call. And
Mario, call back more, man. Great first call.
Thank you.
Mario Correa checking in. Love that. Yeah, Mario, I remember I sent him tickets last year. We had a bunch of extras from listeners who couldn't go. The weather was beautiful that night, by the way. It was like 80 degrees on Halloween that night, and it was the moment of the Jet season, the Garrett catch. So good call by Mario, and yeah, I remember he had like a sick view of the Garrett cat. He tagged me in on Twitter, like, thanks for the tickets, look at this. I was like, holy shit. Okay, let's hope the Jets surprise. So the expectations are going to obviously be low if it's Tyrod or Kirk Cousins. All right, I hope they're good. Ladies and gentlemen, we know Connor Long wants nothing more than a 4-win season, but how about another youngster that watches the show? I sound old saying the word youngster. Chris G is next. Hello, Chris.
How's it going, Jake?
Chris, how are you? How many wins are you hoping the Jets get this upcoming year? You want 4 like Connor?
I'm hoping we make a wild card, but with this move, it seems farther and farther away.
Yeah, it feels that way. We'll see what they do.
The only good thing about this is I got my Jake Asman shirt.
Hey!
Thank you so much.
I love that. Love it.
Yes, but I think this move is awful. I mean, they better have a plan because, tanking next year is unacceptable. And if we tank, all of our talent is going to run out, and we're going to be rebuilding by 2026. I mean, next year should not be a rebuild. We should be able to compete with all this talent. But, I'm pounding the table for Justin Fields at this point. Tyrod and Fields is what I want. But as you said, it's unrealistic. So there's really no good options.
Look, I would go after Fields too. But, like, why would Fields take a job where he's competing with Tyrod, who's been here? If I'm Justin Fields, I want to go out there and I want to go to Tennessee, for example, where I know I'm the starter till the rookie. You know what I mean? Like, I go somewhere where I'm the guy until the rookie is ready. Like, I think it's a better opportunity for them to go to the Jets.
Yeah, all these other plans are awful. I mean, Jordan Travis is not a good plan. Trading up, I don't think any of these QBs in this draft are worth trading up for. And God forbid, Hendon Hooker. I'll jump off the top of MetLife if that happens.
Hendon Hooker. Oh, my God. Shoot me in the face if that's the plan.
It's all awful. But now we have to take a receiver at 7 because without Rodgers, there's no Devontae. So I think we have our next draft pick set in stone, the Arizona receiver.
Yeah, I mean, I the receiver from Arizona intrigues me. He was at Radio Row. We tried to get him on the show to lift the curtain, but the schedules didn't align.
Yeah, but I don't got anything else. Thanks for taking my call, and have a good one.
Chris, good to see a smart take from you. Unlike Connor Long, Mr. Let's get rid of Rodgers. Yeah, give me another juice spot. I'm just kidding. I love you, Connor. Chris, that shirt's awesome, man. Thanks for supporting the show. More calls before we wrap up here. What are we, 2 hours in almost? Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Ladies and gentlemen, Jose Oliveros has gifted 5 channel memberships, but it's not coming up on my screen here. Hold on. Let me scroll. There we go. 5 from Jose. Let's go.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
Well, we're tired of this shit, Aaron. Please win. Thomas Schwarterson, Marty McFly, Jack Needham, Josh Frischman, Infamous Julian. Another 5 members in our raffle here. Appreciate everyone for the support. I have $1,100 of Wi-Fi to pay off, so it goes a long way. Bomber is up next. What's up, Bomber?
What's good, baby? You can hear me?
Not great, Bomber. You sound like you're underwater.
Yeah, hold up. You hear me?
Not great.
How about now?
It's passable, I guess. We'll make do.
Hold up, just a sec. I have these headphones in. I'm trying to make this connected.
Are you in a shed?
Because I can't hear nothing.
Thanks for the time, Bomber. Bomber, call back in. I know you were on hold a while. I'll put you right to the front. Let's say hello to Doug on his bed. Hello, Doug.
Jake, I think an underrated part of Mets was he had a lot of points to get off his chest.
You know, I'd argue a lot of them were salient points as well.
He kept on saying my point. He really had a lot of points to get off his chest. But quick on Rodgers, I was like 50-50 in the whole Rodgers thing on bringing him back or not, because like I saw kind of both sides of it. So like, I get it. I want to win too. I don't think this team is in a rebuild, but I understand also the new regime wanting to move on and kind of go in their own direction. So I get them wanting to go in their own direction. I disagree with that caller who said Jordan Travis would be awful. When he was healthy at Florida State, he was really good and would have been like a third or fourth round pick if he didn't like just get his leg decapitated.
Yeah, but it's not like we're talking about a first round guy. We're talking about a day 3 pick.
But as you said many times before, it doesn't matter. You can find a quarterback. Like there's ways to find quarterbacks.
There is, but I wasn't really referring for the 3rd round and beyond. I was referring to like you don't need to suck to get the top quarterback to be good. Like I brought up the Bills trading up for their guy, Mahomes and the Chiefs, like Lamar. Like those are the examples I used saying that like all you saying tank for the quarterback next year. F that. There's other ways to do it. That was my point.
Yeah, I don't want them to trade up for like Shador or Cam Ward because I do not think either of them are great QB prospects. So I think I saw someone tweet. I think it's going to end up being a QB competition of like the combination of Fields, Tyrod, and Travis, or something of like that, or Marks. So 2 of the 3 are going to be Travis and Tyrod, and then just fill in one of the free agent quarterbacks, whoever they think is the best fit for the team.
It's probably what ends up happening. I hope it works.
But like we still have a good team. We still have a good roster. I'm interested to see what I like the moves that Muji and Glenn are doing so far. Like otherwise outside.
You like the fullback they signed, Andrew Beck? That got you
I
excited.
love having a fullback in an offense. Ground and pound.
It's an electric move. It will be a trivia question one day. What transaction did Darren Muji make first as Jets GM?
No, but more so, I like the move they're doing in like the front office. Like they're really clearing out in the front office. I think they're doing the right things, and I like that they're getting a lot of former players on the coaching staff. Some people might not like that, but I like having a lot of former players in the coaching staff. I think it's easy to relate to that, I guess, for the players.
I like it. Are you wearing shoulder pads?
No, I'm wearing a suit. I have an event that I have to go to in a little bit.
Why does this suit look massive on you? Stand up for a second.
I'm wearing a sweater under it because it is cold.
Hold on. What am I looking at here? The chat is going wild on this.
I'm wearing a sweater under it. It's cold out. I'm not wearing shoulder pads though.
Yeah, give me your defensive end stance.
I'm not getting up for that. So
all right,
but I know my shoulders do look massive right now, but no, it's because I'm wearing a sweater under the suit jacket because it's freezing outside.
All right. Well, Doug, have a great event tonight.
Thank you, Jake. Have a great rest of your night and great job last week.
Thank you, Doug. I appreciate that. Thanks to everyone who tuned into the Radio Row content. Jose writes in. It's our guy Jose. Don Jose Mexican restaurant, baby. Haven't caught a show live in a while. Keep doing what you're doing. All the Radio Row interviews were awesome. Thank you, Jose. Good to hear from you, man. Thanks for getting the 5 memberships as well. We'll get you in the raffle. More of your calls. Let's head back to the strip club where Bomber is again. Hey, Bomber.
What's good, baby? You can hear me now?
Oh, I hear you, man. Hey, is Charles Gorman there?
Nah. Listen, man, I keep getting a headache about this Rodgers story. I understand he's up there, played with the top quarterbacks, and he's the GOAT. We just wasn't winning, but it's not all on Rodgers. It goes with bad coaching. You give him everything, he doesn't have a line. We can't protect him. Penalties. Like we're shooting ourselves in the foot. We don't have a kicker. Why isn't these things addressed when the season starts? Let's say we run it back with Rodgers, right?
Mm-hmm.
He gets hurt week 4 for the end of the season. What's your backup plan?
Tyrod.
Who's going to be the quarterback then?
Yeah. To me, it'd be Tyrod. I would keep the same quarterback room and draft someone, and that guy gets a true redshirt year.
And if that's the case, then he deserves a chance to year. I'm not comfortable with it because he's injury prone. Who says Tyrod is going to lead us to the playoffs? I don't. I would love to see what the young boys can do, whether that's Jordan Travis, Justin Fields. Shit, we may get our Bo Nix or Jaden Daniels out the draft if he's ready. Because I'm not necessarily saying Tyrod's the starter just because he's a veteran. He may have to play for that position. You know what I'm saying? And the best player deserves to lead us. But I feel as though we're better without Rodgers. I wanted AG way before anybody thought of taking him as our head coach. When I was told all the head coaches that will be up for a head coaching position, I pointed them out because I've watched how they built the Detroit Lions from scratch. And I said, I know he's learned a lot over there and he can apply that to here. Just because he's a defensive coach, he won't be the same as Todd Bowles and Salah. He'll give us something different, a new identity. We don't have to call it a rebuild, but we can call it a new era. And I kept saying Rodgers is good, but we need somebody that's mobile. We need somebody that can get out that pocket and make plays happen. And I understand he was able to do that, but he's not the same Rodgers we know anymore. I don't feel as though wherever he go this year, he's going to have a better record of stats that he had with us from last year. He's not
he
going
might be a part of a team that wins more. Like you put him on the Steelers and Mike Tomlin's his coach, they're going to win 10 games to go to the playoffs.
That's a possible. I just don't think that he's not what we needed, man. I didn't want Rodgers from the start.
Who'd you want?
I mean, at that timing, I was hoping that we can drive somebody, but it was like, damn, who?
That's the point. Like it was the right move. It didn't work ultimately.
Exactly.
Like they had no alternative. They had a team that was ready to win, and then unfortunately, the options if not Rodgers all would have been even worse. So it didn't work. He got hurt. That's what ruined the whole thing. 4 plays in.
It really didn't. I'm tired of seeing the same stories with us at quarterback. Like they always give us these quarterbacks when they damn near out the only way out the prime, out the door. Michael Vick, Brad Favre. It's still repeating itself. We can't seem to get one decent quarterback.
Yeah, because when they tried to draft someone, they've been terrible. They missed on him. That's the problem.
Man, I'm only 37, Jake, and I'm the only quarterback. Thank you, man. The only quarterback that I can say that I got the best memories with is Mark Sanchez.
Not Chad. Chad was good. He just had issues staying on the field. When he was healthy, they went to the playoffs.
Yeah, he just that shoulder of his, that bad arm. But Sanchez, he gave me hope those 2 seasons when I thought we was really going to do it. But that's the best quarterback I can say, and I'll throw Pennington in there that we've drafted that gave me hope and feel like, damn, this team can be something. Because it's either or. We have a great defense, shitty on offense. We have a mediocre offense. It just can't do nothing on defense. Like why we can't get just one thing together all as one and just play some ball.
Yeah, 100%. Now, question for you before you get out of here, Bomber, is Tiffany working tonight? That was Charles Gorman's go-to.
I have no idea, man. Jake, I'm feeling the mustache, man.
I appreciate it. It's Super Bowl stash, baby.
You're looking like a young Hulk Hogan. Like you could be his brother.
I love it. I had to get the New Orleans off of me. Too many nights on Bourbon Street. I just like all the Jet fans who want to lose next year. 4 wins, baby. Here we come. But they want to, bathe in their own filth. I had to get the New Orleans bourbon off of me.
How many wins you got us at this year? I said 5.
Right now, I'm predicting a 4-win season.
4. I said 5.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm ecstatic that Aaron Glenn. I wanted him, but it still remains the same for me this year. I have to see it to believe it.
Amen. I'll tell you what. Right now, I don't expect much, but let's see what they do this offseason. I want them to win.
I hope so. That's what I'm thinking, that we can get a run stuffer in the offseason. If you're gonna get run stuff in the first, I'm not mad. But please address weapons. We need weapons. We're gonna need those.
By the way, Rob V, I was asked for my opinion on February 10th. I'm not allowed to change it by the time we get to September. By your rules, Rob V, the rules of Rob V, I'm not allowed to adjust my opinion. So if the Jets do anything, and now all of a sudden I'm like, I think they could go 7-10. I'm not, according to Rob V, everyone, I'm not allowed to alter my opinion. Just want that on the record. But yes, hopefully they have a good offseason, Bomber. That's what it comes down to.
Me too, man. Appreciate you for having me, man. Let's kick ass this year.
Great call, Bomber. All right. Say hi to Tiffany. Say hi to Josie. If Kitty's working tonight, say hi to her for me. Charles really liked Coco, too, I was told. If Coco's in, tell her the Asmaniac say what's up. Ladies and gentlemen, more of your calls before we wrap up. The Lup Man is on the line. What's up, Luppy?
Hey, what's going on, Jake? How's it going?
I'm good, Luppy. How are you?
I just got to say, everything is my fault. Everything is my fault. And I'm going to tell you why.
Why is that?
Last night, I said, you know what? I'm going to sit down and watch the Super Bowl. I'm going to invest in the team. I'm going to root for the team, right? I'm going to really invest. I was like, because there's no way that Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs are going to look like crap. So I'm in there. I'm going rooting for the Kansas City Chiefs, and look what we got. And I'm like, it's got to be on me. It has to be.
I mean, I thought they were going to win too.
Because I think I root for him. It's all my fault. I'm the Maloik. I apologize to all you Jet fans. I swear, it's my fault. 60 years, right? I'm 60 years old in March. That's what I'm going to be. Just think about it. Do the math. And when Super Bowl 3, I was 3, 4 years old, whatever it was. Come on, it's crazy. So with that being said, I just wanted to throw that out there. But we all wanted to see Aaron Rodgers healthy, maybe with a new coaching staff, with somebody who knows what they're doing. And that's why I think we're all disappointed. You know, you wanted to see Aaron Rodgers, and you got Aaron Glenn in. It wasn't our first choice. I know a lot of people wasn't their first choice, but he grew on me. I know he's grown on you. He's grown on a lot of people. And I wanted to see it, with Aaron Rodgers on the field, and we can win. We have a talented team. A couple holes here and there, but every team has a couple holes. If you have good coaching will overcome some of those little deficiencies you have. So I really was excited for that.
Hey, Luppy, real quick. Jay Quest says that it's your fault that his ex-wife was a skank. Your thoughts?
Probably he's right, because I had an ex-wife too, and she was a skank. So you're right. It's probably my fault too.
Wow.
Blame everything on the Lup man. That's what you got to do.
The Lup man. I love it.
You got big shoulders. You know what I mean?
Are you wearing shoulder pads as well?
What's that? No, these are real.
Hey, they look tremendous.
Anyway, back to regular Jet talk. I think they kind of got fractured. Rodgers, he probably was 50% in leaving anyway too. You saw the way he left the field. I think because the fact that when he did fire Lasal, he probably thought, hey, this isn't really what I thought it was going to be here with the Jets. So I think it really was a mutual thing, because the way you saw him leave the field at the last game made it seem like it was his last game. He gave one of the girls on the sidelines a hug, whatever, one of those reporters. So I kind of felt that way anyway. But I did want to see the Aaron Rodgers, the healthy Aaron Rodgers. I really did. I wanted to see it with a good coaching staff and what we could do, because I really feel we have a good team. So it comes down to coaching. We all talk about that. It really does matter. And as you saw with the Eagles, offensive and defensive line has to be there. I think we're one or two pieces away on the defense. It depends on what we lose and what we do. We need some depth on the offensive line. You can say we've got some great studs, some young guys on there, which I'm excited about too as well. We still got Breece Hall, like you say in the beginning of your shows. We got Breece Hall. We have Garrett Wilson. I mean, people think he's. I really haven't heard any quotes straight from him. Have you, Jake? That he's unhappy? I mean, have you heard anything?
I mean, no. I mean, the one time Garrett was asked about it, he shot it down. It doesn't mean I think Garrett's frustration is losing more so than Rodgers.
I agree.
I think that's overblown. I think he's pissed off. He's lost every year he's been a Jet, and this guy probably lost like 3 games total between high school and college.
Right, and we got the core 4. We got right. We're all together. You got Wilson. You got Breece Hall. Right. We got Sauce Gardner. Right, and we also got what's his name? The core forward is JJ. We got those guys that I'm sure have a bond, and that's big. It's on both sides of the ball too. So I really feel that we aren't really as far off as everybody's making it seem.
I agree. I mean, there's plenty of examples of quick turnarounds with good coaching. So that's what I hope happens.
All right, Jake, that's it. You listen, you have a good night. I finally caught you live again.
Luppy, great call. Love it. The Lup man delivers again. Lucas is next, and then we got some elite heavy hitters to close out the show. I'm talking 1 seeds only to wrap up the show if everyone stays on hold. Lucas, you're next. What's up, Lucas?
What's up, man? I'm in my car right now, but listening to your show. It's my first time joining, but this whole Aaron Rodgers stuff has me thinking about what I really want for the Jets in the future. Obviously, with Aaron Rodgers coming, I was probably the most hyped Jets fan on the planet. I was ready to go to the Super Bowl, all that stuff. But I think over the last couple weeks, I've realized that the draft class this year sucks, and the quarterback draft class next year is so much better. So I think for me, I'm okay with just like starting Jordan Travis or Tyrod, and just if we lose, we lose, and just hopefully get a good quarterback next year. Because I want a Josh Allen kind of quarterback. I want a guy that's here for the next 15 years. So I don't really want to compromise on that, Yeah, so I just feel like
So you're saying, Lucas, they couldn't bring back Rodgers and still end up with a Josh Allen type quarterback?
I just think that if we brought back Rodgers, we would have gotten 8 wins, 9 wins, maybe a playoff run, but it would have put us in a tough situation to go get that quarterback, top 3 pick.
So you are aware that the Chiefs traded up to get Mahomes at pick 10, and then you are aware that Josh Allen was the 3rd quarterback drafted his year. He was acquired by the Bills trading up twice.
Yeah. No, I just think that next year there's going to be a lot of quarterbacks, like a lot of teams needing a quarterback. Like the Saints, I think the Browns might go one next year. And so I just think that next year there's going to be too many teams going after that quarterback. The
I mean,
Rams,
last year teams needed quarterbacks. 5 of them did. And guess what? 5 or more than 5 did, but 5 went in the first round. Like, I can't think that way. I'm trying. You just poo-pooed Rodgers taking them to the playoffs like it's no big deal. They haven't made the playoffs in 14 years. That's a huge deal.
No, it's true. For me, like 1 year of playoffs and then after that having a hard time finding a quarterback all over again. Like, I don't want to deal with
The
that.
Chiefs didn't. The Chiefs made the playoffs with Alex Smith, and then they traded up to get Mahomes. The Bills made the playoffs with Tyrod, then they traded up to get Allen. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that would be amazing if we could make the playoffs, let's say even with Tyrod next year. I'm down for that, but I do want to, the priority for me is to get the quarterback for the next 15 years, and I think this draft class can do that, the next one coming up.
Yeah, I mean, I think they could do what you want them to do to try and find that guy while trying to win as many games as possible this year. That's my point.
I would love that. I would love to go to the playoffs with Tyrod, Jordan Travis, Justin Fields, whoever it is, but as long as next year we're aggressive in, like, getting the guy, for the next.
Well, I don't think that's going to happen with those quarterbacks you mentioned. I think there was a possibility it could happen with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, true. Well, I honestly, I want the number 1 pick. I want.
So you want to tank? You want to just bathe in your own filth, Lucas? How bad do you want to smell for a year? You want to just stink? You want to smell worse than like Bobby Midnight after not showering for a week?
I do want the number 1 pick because every time we tank, every time we suck, we don't do it right. We end up with a bad quarterback. I want the option of getting the best one.
So if they got the number 1 pick, you think that guarantees that they're going to get a good quarterback? How's it working out for the Bears 1 year in?
Yeah, no, it definitely doesn't guarantee it. But
How's Trevor Lawrence doing?
Yeah, no, it's true. But I want a chance at Arch
How about
Manning
Jamarcus Russell? How's he doing?
No, it's brutal.
Let's go through number 1 picks. There's no guarantee. That's no guarantee. You want to just give away next year, have every good player 1 out to get the number 1 pick, and we have no idea who that top quarterback even is.
Well, for
who are you taking for? Who's the guy, Lucas? You want to just keep losing games, baby. You want to swim in your own filth, right?
I would go for Arch if Arch comes out.
Great.
I feel like that's just a generational talent, but
Oh yeah. So is Trevor Lawrence and Caleb Williams, right? Generational.
Yeah, no, it could end up sucking, but the thing is, I just want to take a chance at one of these top guys, and
they've done that, dude. They've taken the chance with the quarterbacks at the top of the draft. It hasn't worked.
No, I understand, but I just want to get a chance to choose our guy because
watch what's going to happen, Lucas. They'll get to choose their guy, and the guy who goes second will end up being better than the guy the Jets take at number 1. It will be Jaden Daniels and Caleb Williams all over again.
No, it's true. Knowing our luck, that would definitely happen.
So why are we trying to tank and throw away next year? You don't think there's talent on this team?
No, this team could, with a good quarterback, could be in the playoffs easily. That's what's frustrating.
That's my point. You're making my point for me.
No, I know. It's just more like I obviously want to go to the playoffs, and I don't want the dudes on this team to want to leave because we suck so bad next year. But I want to find a way to get a quarterback that we can win some games with, keep these guys happy. But the year, 2026, we got to go aggressive and get one.
Wonderful. Thank you, Lucas. Safe driving. I mean, you want to tank here. You could be sneaking to the playoffs would be great. Shoot me in the head after the show today. Luppy has gifted 5 channel memberships. Thank you, Luppy.
It's the Asmaniac membership raffle. For every membership gifted, you receive 1 ticket entered in the raffle to win epic prizes.
All right, I teased 1 seeds only. I stand by that, but we do have some other callers that just popped in, so we'll get to them quickly. This guy doesn't call in a lot, but I'm a fan of his tweets. So we'll get to him here. Jets West is up next. Hello, Jets West.
Yo, what's up, Jake? Yeah, so I think I don't know. I don't get the people who want to tank next year at all. Like you said, most of the best QBs in the playoffs this past year were not like the number 1 pick or even like a top 5. It's just like a good QB there that teams went and traded up for, or they landed to them in the second round, like in Jalen Hurts' case.
Yeah, I mean, the guy who won the Super Bowl MVP last night was a second round pick, literally.
Exactly. But even though I'm like more okay with moving on from Rodgers, I mean, if you told me we could have had all of his cap in just this year, I would have been probably a lot more pissed off that we moved off of Rodgers. Just that big cap hit next year was scaring me. But I think this year we can be still competitive without tanking. And it's about finding that guy that just sort of comes out of nowhere. I mean, if you look back at like the Buccaneers after Tom Brady left, who did they bring in after
Baker Mayfield?
Baker Mayfield. Did any of us think that he was going to win a playoff game that year?
No, of course not. But I think my thing is like, who's that guy that's out there this year? You're going to tell me Justin Fields?
Justin Fields is I'm not the biggest Justin Fields fan, but I think he's probably the most if you're going to gamble with someone to pair with Tyrod, I think Fields makes a lot of sense depending on his price. Like we don't want to like give up too much for him.
I think they're priced out of Fields. They're going to take a $49 million dead cap hit on Aaron Rodgers, and they're already paying Tyrod. So I just don't think they're going to be able to match the money Fields might get from a team like Tennessee that's like, I need a quarterback, so our number one pick doesn't have to play right away. The Giants need to get someone in case they can't get a quarterback. So, like, I mean, who's that guy? Like, it's not Derek Carr. It's not Kirk Cousins. It's not Russell Wilson. It's not Wentz. Darnold's not coming here, so forget that. Like, you go through the options. Who's the guy like Baker Mayfield, former top pick in the draft that has kind of bounced around, has talent that hasn't found a home? Like, I don't know if that guy exists other than maybe Fields, and I don't think he's coming here.
Fields is probably the closest. I mean, also depends on like his price.
Mac
Wilson,
Jones, Daniel
I
Jones. Like, do you want one of these guys? Like, I don't.
If you want to see me protest an entire season, bring in Mac Jones, man. I hate Mac Jones. Like,
oh, someone Nick T started us all. This show that started 2 hours and 10 minutes ago. We got rolling with this beauty at 5:49 today. Talking about Mac Jones as an option. Like, just shoot me in the face. I cannot do a Mac Jones season. This show is over. I'm getting a real job. I'm done. I'm retiring from YouTubing. If Mac Jones is the quarterback.
I love Tyrod Taylor personally, but I do think his injury concerns are just way too much that we would need to bring in some sort of veteran backup. I don't know much about Jared Stidham, but he does know there's familiarity there. Maybe there could be something of him as a backup to Taylor. He could fill in a few games if Taylor gets injured. I just think we have a roster that we can still be competitive. We can still, maybe we're not making the playoffs, but improving upon next year. Maybe we'll see just steps in the right direction.
6 wins? You bold enough to predict 6?
You know, I'm bold enough to predict at least 6. I will say at least 6.
All right, let's go, baby. 6-win season from Jets West. That's awesome.
Minimum, though. Minimum. That's 6 wins is our floor. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, I'm pumped, dude. You ready? I'm fired up.
I don't know. I mean, Rodgers didn't get 6 wins, and I don't know if I can't confidently say he would have next year too. I mean, better coaching, I hope he would, but there's just too much that comes with him in terms of money.
Do you think Rodgers would give them the best chance, though?
I'm not sure. That's the thing. I can't confidently say he would.
You watched Aaron Rodgers play the last 6 weeks, and you don't think he's better than all these options that we were talking about just now?
I mean, I watched him play against the Seahawks. The Seahawks gave us that game how many times? And that was one of the worst games. I had to turn it off.
I thought he was bad that game too, 100%. 100%.
Yeah.
But I thought that he played really well against the Dolphins twice and the Jaguars.
Yeah, I mean, it's particularly, I think, I'm way more impressed with his performance against the Dolphins the first game. The second one, like, the Dolphins were a defeated team. They weren't winning that game. It became clear once they were out of the running. They were not winning that game. You do
realize, as Chef Kevin brings up, now we don't have any wide receiver other than Garrett Wilson. See, like, that's also people like, oh, Rodgers, this is like, it's also another year of Devontae that you now don't have. So we gotta rebuild the wide receiver room, which has one viable option in it right now.
One viable option, but if we stay at 7, I do think we're kind of in a position to take a good receiver. Tet's a big-bodied receiver. He'd complement Garrett Wilson really well. He's essentially like a Drake London type. There's another few guys in the class I really like too. Beck, he's going to be a day 2 guy. And then we paired them with a wide receiver 3 and someone like Tim Patrick who has familiarity with that, that Lions system already. I don't think it's obviously not as good as Devontae Adams and Garrett Wilson, but that was like a top 5, maybe top 3 duo in the league. I don't think we completely need that to have success. We had it last year and it didn't work.
Well, yeah, because the defense sucked and the kicking sucked. Devontae did his part. Garrett did their part.
Defense sucked. And the kicking was miserable. But I mean,
that's why they only won 5 games, Jets West. If they had an average place kicker last year, we're talking about an 8-win team right now.
Yeah, but I mean, I think we could both agree that Rodgers didn't push the ball down the field as well as he should have. There was too many times where he was just checking out of plays.
I
He
think
needed
he
to
was
play
hurt,
better.
and I think
He
that
was.
impacted him. I think we played the clip on the show of Boomer Esiason, former quarterback, breaking down the mechanics. How it looks like he's favoring his hamstring because he wasn't
Yeah.
pushing off it. Like I think it's a real thing. I still think, despite that, he's their best option to try and make the playoffs next year. And now we got rid of that option and created a hole at quarterback and wide receiver. And I have the Jet reporters saying, well, Rodgers doesn't make sense for them because of culture, but I predict Kirk Cousins is going to be the quarterback. How does that make any sense?
Yeah, I mean, I floated Cousins yesterday. I'm taking that back a little bit because I really didn't watch him play. I mean, I just like the idea of what the Steelers did with Russ, with the veteran minimum guy for like a guy who was at least watchable. But yeah, no, I could see things both ways. For me, I think I just weigh the cap implications in the future a lot more than some other people. Ideally, if you told me we could take all of Rodgers' cap for this current year, I'd say, yeah, the Jets would be completely moronic to not just stick with Rodgers 1 year. But anyway, thanks for taking my call, Jake. That's really all I had to say. Appreciate it, dude.
Good call, Jet West. Love the studio setup. Great audio. Now that is a caller who's dedicated to his craft there. Appreciate it, Jet West. Hennessy says, remember all our 12-win predictions? Yeah, I do, Hennessy. It's funny. People will say, you're so negative. Someone said I'm Allen in the comments, which is hilarious. It's amazing. The second I don't agree with something they do, now all of a sudden I'm Allen. Okay. I'm as positive as a guy as you're going to find in media that's in this market. All right. I'm just not going to be blindly delusional if I don't agree. That's not happening. If you want that, there's plenty of shows for that. It's not this one. Dubs with a super chat. Justin Fields and Garrett Wilson were a great combo at Ohio State. I wouldn't mind trying out Fields to see if the magic is there between the two of them. Yeah, I mean, look, if they sign Fields, I'm not going to sit here and say it's a bad move. There's upside. I think if you're expecting him to do what Darnold did or Mayfield did, you're fooling yourself. But let's see. Rick Kent calling Jake Allen is a funny one. I mean, people are so stupid, Rick. It's unbelievable. But whatever. As long as they're watching, what do I care? Love me or hate me, you watch. That's all that matters. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the greats is on the line. She might be our best caller and also our most adorable caller. Decker is up next. Hello, Decker.
Hello, Jake.
Hi, Decker.
No, I called on to say, Jake, it's okay that the total back is gone. Okay, it's just a total back. It's fine.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it's fine.
I
They're
don't
gonna
know,
find
Decker.
a new one.
I don't think they are, though. I think they're going to find someone that stinks.
No, they're gonna find a good one.
What gives you the confidence?
Huh?
Why are you so sure they're going to find a new quarterback?
Just because.
Just because. Well, I hope you're right. That'd be nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wait. How was school today, Decker?
Good.
Yeah. You learn anything
Well,
interesting?
No.
No. Yeah. That's kind of most of school, to be honest with you. Doesn't get much better. What else is new?
Nothing much. Just
Matt-
ready to beat my dad in the tournament coming up.
That's right. You're going to be in Asmaniac Madness. Watch out.
Hey, come in here. Come in here. I'm gonna beat him.
Hey, Gary.
I'm beating him.
Did she talk you off the ledge? It's just a quarterback. We can get a new one.
Yeah, they just grow on trees. She's right.
They do. Like, we have a history of great quarterbacks, so this shouldn't be a problem.
The Jets always find tremendous quarterbacks.
We always find one.
Matt writes in, does Decker like gas station pizza?
I never tried that station.
She's only had good pizza. We don't buy her bad pizza.
I've only had a fresh pizza from his childhood pizza shops.
Let's see. Luffy writes in, I vote for Decker. Decker, you already have at least one vote.
Yeah.
Bo writes in,
Daddy.
Decker has star power.
I just think
He's a superstar.
you already lost. Okay, no, you already lost.
That's right.
Do I even know that I'm going against you in the tournament?
No, and Jake, he probably will.
Jake doesn't make the tournament. Jake doesn't
I'm
make
not.
the
I am. I don't want any bias. I'm not involved. I put together the committee, and it's their job to assemble the matchups in the bracket. But I think they might do that. I could see a sneaky, Sweet 16 matchup of Decker versus your dad Gary. I could see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you say?
He said he could see us throwing up against each other.
Not in the first round, in the final four.
Yeah. If you make it that far, Daddy.
I need some luck.
If you and Bobby go up against each other, I'm voting for Bobby.
You're gonna vote for Bobby.
Jet Life says, much better than Gary.
Yeah.
I tend to agree. Luppy says, great job, Gary. You have a great daughter there. I agree. Decker, you're definitely my favorite part of any Gary call.
Mm-hmm.
Rick Kent says, Decker would win for sure.
Yeah.
Ted says, Decker runs the show. That's
I
right. Jet Life says, your pop's a little crazy. He's a little crazy. We all know that. Aren't we all? We're all Jet fans.
Yeah.
Let's see.
You want to sit down?
Sure.
Cincy Matt, best caller today. Decker, great job.
Great job, Decker.
Should I play the chicken and pasta song on your way out of here, Decker?
Yes, please.
All right, everyone, sing along like I know Decker's going to be singing.
Chicken doesn't go with pasta. Don't you know it's disgusting? Chicken can't go with pasta. Why? Because of the texture. Instead, go get yourself pizza at the closest Shell gas station. Cause chicken don't go with pasta. I just discovered dogs are pets.
Bravo, Decker. Bravo. Great call. Nick Shine writes in, my committee vote is for sale, kid. No, it's not, Nick. We have integrity on this committee, damn it. Anyhow, I teased 1 seeds. Ladies and gentlemen, I mean, there's only one thing I could do to appropriately bring on who we have left here. I don't know if they've ever been on a call together. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time.
It's Chiefs fan.
Guess what? I'm still looking for a job, bitches.
It's Chiefs fan.
I'm just going to rub my hands together all day.
It's Chiefs fan.
There's a whole lot of DNA on this couch.
Let's hear it for Chiefs fan.
Look, it's my dead neighbor that I didn't kill.
So, ladies and gentlemen, hold on, Chiefs fan. Hold on. Hold your horsey there. Ladies and gentlemen, in addition to a Chiefs fan call, we say hello right now to...
Hi, how are you? Bruce Hall. That's good.
So, Jake, just
Oh my
remind
God.
you had a
Oh, hi,
small...
Chiefs fan.
Hey, what up, lady? Just a reminder.
The green team won. The Eagles won.
Yeah, I know. Just a reminder, Jake. You had us back on in January. Remember when I walked to go
Oh, I
get
do
Chinese
remember.
food? You had us back on in January. That was the first time.
Okay.
I went to go to Chinese. Second.
That was some game.
It was. We
How do you
lost.
feel?
Not enough vodka to make me feel good, but it's fine.
Really?
I mean, I'm happy for Saquon Barkley. All the other Eagles can just kick my ass.
No, Taylor Swift was not happy though, because hopefully one day she'll get married.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Kelsey just needs to call it quits, put a baby in her, and marry her.
Yeah, but bring down the mail.
Kelsey
Yeah.
just needs to retire
Yeah.
if he wants to play one more
Yeah.
year. I'm like,
He's such a big baby.
put a
but-
baby in Taylor Swift. That's the goal, Travis Kelsey.
On the other hand, I had so much food yesterday that I kept having to go to the bathroom after.
That was me
Some beer.
in the morning.
Yeah, I wasn't feeling well also.
Oh no, I had a
What
3
happened
pounds
yesterday?
of wing, 3 pounds of wings, salad, red velvet cupcakes, even though I shouldn't have.
Really?
Their cream cheese stuffed red velvet cupcakes, 2 burgers, Doritos, a giant ass salad, 1/4 of a watermelon since my friend brung it over that they couldn't finish, and
You like?
outright.
No,
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Go ahead.
you like watermelon? Or yeah, that. Do you like?
Yeah,
it?
I do. They bring it off there. They bring it over there in the 4th quarter because I'm like, I need something sweet that's not chocolate.
Yeah.
They bring it
You know
over.
what I want?
What do you want?
I had spicy wings last night from
Nice.
Trader Joe's makes good chicken wings. I should have put it in dressing actually. And had my
Oh,
chips,
nice.
and I forgot to have the M&Ms last night, so I had them today.
For me,
Yeah.
just I went out and bought myself some miniature chocolate cupcakes and a
Mm.
pizza for dinner tonight, just to get me
Mm.
through, make me feel better. I know I shouldn't be eating those together, but I'm like,
Really?
yeah. The if I go
But,
for if I go for M&Ms, I go for thank you, Jet Life. If I go for M&Ms, I go for the coffee brew. They don't sell
really?
much. They're the peanut M&Ms that have a little bit of a
Think-
caramel
I'm pretty
and
sure they came out with caramel ones too.
yeah.
And then they
Uh,
came out with the coffee one also for
yeah.
caramel. But I don't think that lasted long. Same as an ice cream flavor too.
The Pinnacle Show. Thank you guys. My friend used to buy the fudge M&Ms. It
Really?
this has
I don't
I
think they
hope
have
it.
it anymore.
Open it. Oh
Ooh,
no, my
wait, I
friend
gotta read
bought.
this comment. Oh,
Okay.
comment.
Okay, so my friend bought the fudge M&Ms, gave me half of the
Yeah.
bag, and I during Halloween of 2022 when those came out, I
Yeah.
ate I ate a bag and put on 2 pounds overnight.
Yeah,
My
I
blood
mean,
sugar
going
levels are
back
through the
to the
roof.
Jets, you can draft. I could see maybe Warren Keller, and everybody's saying either sign Kurt Cousins. How do you feel about that? If you see him in a Jets uniform,
Uh, we don't need Kirk Cousins. I believe the Jets should go after Jameis Wilson
yeah,
or
I
Justin
don't know.
Fields. But like at this point, so many people who are talking in the different football server that I'm in, they're talking about the Jets trading. They're talking about the Jets trading Adams and a first rounder to get the first
They're
overall
not going
pick.
to trade him.
I
This
don't
is
think
too
it's
good.
worth that. I don't think it's worth
Yeah,
that.
I don't see him. Maybe the Giants
Thank you,
could get
Bo.
him, but yeah, I see him staying with the Jets for at least another year. Oh, I feel like I can have my own show, actually, believe it or not.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be amazing. But let me just say this: like,
Yeah.
I hope everything goes good for the Jets because, like, I feel for you guys and Jake's sanity over these last few
Yeah.
days. I'm surprised, Jake, if you hear me, you haven't drunk like 3 bottles of vodka like I know most people will do.
Vodka.
Because
I don't even
vodka's the
drink that.
go-to drink.
Yeah.
Vodka's the go-to drink
I
where I'm
drink
at.
water. I had so much water today. I wasn't feeling well when I came home. I don't know what was wrong. I mean, I was okay at work. I just maybe I had something spicy last night. Oh wait, let me read this. This is more entertaining than the Super Bowl.
Thank you, Les. Hope I did not mispronounce your name.
Oh, I gotta read
Mike
this.
and
Mark
Matt.
and Mad 2-0.
Oh hell yeah! Thank you. I grew up watching that shit. I paid for
You did?
ESPN Radio. Top 5 quarterbacks this year, and the guy. I think Cam
Yeah,
Howard is number one,
yeah.
and then
You could draft him.
the other four, I don't know. Like the other four up in the air, I just don't. I think Cam Howard.
Oh god. I'm
Mike,
sorry.
the
I'm just
Cash
tired. I
hater,
worked the whole day. I'm gonna work
classic
Wednesday.
hater, Mike.
Oh, I gotta read it. I don't know where Knoble is. He might have played. He's probably playing in. I hear he's probably playing in the Mexican Football League. Believe it or not.
Oh, speaking of Mexican football leagues, they're not going to be hosting
Yeah,
any games in 2026, I hear, because of the Aztec
yeah,
thing.
yeah. They're gonna play in. The Jets are gonna play in Mexico in 2026. That's
Oh no, no,
something.
no! I don't think they're doing that. Mexico came out and said they're not doing any games due to the Aztec, whatever the hell
This
they
whole
got
bidding
going on.
thing is just terrible for next. I don't get. Stop with the whole bidding thing. I just. I don't want to lose my mind on it, but yeah, I don't know why they're pulling that. I'm just upset about it, but yeah, why do you think that's happening with the bidding?
I don't know, but at this point, I honestly would laugh if the Titans trade away the number all overall pick. And
Yeah.
at this point, I could see
Let's
Rodgers going.
continue
I could see
the
Rodgers going to the
basketball.
Steelers.
Thank you, Curly. Steelers? Well, they
Yeah.
have like I think the Giants pick in the draft the third from college.
I no, I think the Giants are second
I
in the
think the
draft.
Eagles pick. Who did the Eagles pick in the draft?
Thank you, Nick.
Yeah. Next
Uh,
time.
no, thank you. I honestly, my allergies are acting up. Sorry if I'm rubbing my nose. But I honestly just hope like you guys, the Jet fans, just have something to be happy about this draft.
Well, I like the Giants though. I mean, I've always been a
Oh
Giants
yeah,
fan.
yeah, you too.
My
The
parents like
Giants.
the Jets.
I, I wish good things for the Giants, but Giants fans they're upset that Barkley won a ring. Thank you, Reese.
You know, honestly, your team should have won last night. You know, I give a little credit to the way.
I'm gonna be real with you. When we were down 20 at halftime,
It got very interesting though.
I knew we weren't gonna do much, but I'm just glad we put up 22 points. And the thing is, we can get back there.
The 40 final score.
We can get back there. It's just I just don't know if we're going to, because the AFC cannibalizes each other, while the NFC only has like one or two powerhouse teams.
I was upset about Aaron Rodgers yesterday. Believe it or not, like I was like, that was tough to get off. I just have a lot to say.
I was 50-50 on the Rodgers thing, but like now you're like plugging two holes. It's like a sinking ship. You're trying to stop. You're trying to stop the Titanic from sinking, and you just decided not to close the fucking doors in time while everyone's going down with the ship.
That sounds like I'm sorry. That sounds like Charles passing some gas in the bathroom.
Hey Jake, speaking of Charles, can we get a dragon fart if you?
Yeah,
can we get a dragon fart, Jake, for me and Lane?
I think the second one. Excuse me.
Yeah, that was funny. Yeah. Anyway, now I'm thinking about baseball. I hope the Mets do good and the Yankees.
As a Cardinal fan, me and the Mets.
Yeah, how do you feel about the Cardinals?
I think we're going 81 and 81. I'm like, I understand Met fans are still mad at us from 2006, but I really wanted an all New York World Series, and I'm hoping we get one again. We haven't had an all New York World Series since I believe, was it the year of 9/11 or the year before 9/11? I think it was the year of 9/11.
2006. You beat
Let me double
us.
check that. Let me double check that. Let me double check if that was the 2001 World Series real fast, because I remember that like my uncle after the towers fell, my uncle took me to a few Yankees games to get my head off of it.
Yankees. We weren't supposed.
It was the 2000 World Series because they faced the
Thank you, Nate. Nate gets a 500.
Diamondbacks.
Can please give thoughts on the following: roast beef sandwich, Knoble 2025 World Series, chocolate covered popcorn, 2028, and elect Bobby underwear. Whoa.
Yeah, it was 2000 World Series. The 2001 was with the Yankees trying to win it all for all those lives that were lost, but Arizona won.
You heard about Bobby's been on his scale. I heard he lost a lot of weight.
Nice.
Looks good actually.
All right, so about roast beef, it has to be really good, and for about chocolate covered popcorn, that's overrated.
Do you like it like thin or sliced?
I like my roast beef. I like my roast beef thin. I would make, like growing up in the hood, I would make myself open poor boy sandwiches. It's because the lunch meats were cheap. Yeah, and then during the holiday season, during the holiday
Unless
season,
the underwear comments.
yeah, the underwear cover during
No, I'm
during the
listening.
okay, yeah, so during the holiday season, I would buy a turkey, freeze that, so we can do that on Christmas. But I would go out and buy a very cheap roast that
Take
didn't have that
cooking
much
some.
fat, and we'd make roast beef sandwiches for Thanksgiving
I don't know about the
when we were living alone.
food and stuff is so good actually.
Curly says, "How do
If
you
you
feel
run
about
out
the
of food,
ghetto?"
if you, I don't know, Curly, I don't know, but I did hear that Hawk moved to Australia. I saw the video on the Nick sign, though. It was pretty good actually. It was pretty touching.
A good old question. I believe it's a chicken that came first because God
Talking
works in
about that,
mysterious ways. That's all I'm gonna say.
yeah, I heard it. Yeah, like, see, I'm surprised the Mets got that far. We weren't supposed to get past the Phillies in the
Oh no, I'm
and we
friends
lost
with
the Dodgers.
I'm
We
friends with
took
a few
one
Phillies
game.
fans. I'm friends with a few Phillies fans, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna sweep the Mets."
Excuse me.
What a show. Lane and Chiefs fan, a meeting of the minds. Besides smelling a 4-win season and smelling Charles Gorman's farts, you know what I smell there? 2 1 seeds in March. I've never been so convinced. Some great one-liners there. God works in mysterious ways. Yeah, I heard. Also, whatever Lane read for Nate's super chat, what do you call it? Bobby's bloody underwear? Or just incredible. I mean, that's what you want. We all needed a laugh after what has been a contentious couple days on the program. Don't worry, I'm going to bring on the voice of reason tomorrow. Beningo's coming on with me at 10 a.m. If you think I'm insufferable about this Rodgers stuff, wait till you hear Joe. It'll be fun, though, either way. Anyway, I got to eat something. I'm hangry. Love you all. Thanks for watching. To everyone who gifted a membership today, thank you. Super chats, thank you. Couldn't do this without you, whether you agree or disagree. We're all Jet fans. Unless you're a Chiefs fan. Or the guy that also called it that roots for every other team, too. But either way, thank you all. You guys are awesome. We're back tomorrow with Joe. If you haven't joined the Patreon yet, join it. Get in the Discord. It's wild in there. Patreon.com/Jake Asman Show. If you want to support me that way, then you get access to the Discord included with your membership. Appreciate everyone again. My name is Jake Asman. This has been the Jake Asman Show. We're back tomorrow with Joe B at 10. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all, folks.
Just put myself in these goddamn situations.
Nah. Ricky NY is up next. Hello, Ricky.
Okay, did you lose me?
What's up, Ricky?
At any rate, I will be calling back soon with different Wi-Fi.
You're the man, Ricky. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us right now is someone with the greatest camera quality you will ever see. Robert C. is up next. Hello, Robert.
So I try to pull up your channel on YouTube. What the Jets need to do is win.
Robert, thank you for the call. I don't know if that's your camera, if you're hanging out with Weed the People, if you're in a sauna, but that was great.
And this is my nanny, babysitter, assistant, helper lady. named Morgan.
Hello.
She goes to Oklahoma.
Morgan, how long have you been a nanny to Decker?
3 years since 2021.
Wow.
Yeah.
You and Gary's wife have done a great job because there's no way Decker turned out the way she did because of Gary. I'm just catching up on some of the comments here, and this is for everyone. You know who you are.
Calm your freaky down.
Just saying. Eric says, good thing Jake didn't put Bobby on. Could you imagine? Some of these comments, man. Jake, you don't want to read the comments. Oh, it's true. I can't even read these comments, man. You guys are terrible. Gary, what are your thoughts on everyone seemingly being a big fan of your nanny?
She's fantastic. She's the best.
She is. That she is.
Yeah.
Thank you for the time. Gary's nanny needs her own emoji. This chat is going wild today, folks. All right. Richard Todd is watching the show in delay, says, just saw Gary's nanny. Interesting. What's so interesting about it? Top Cat says we need Scott to normalize the chat again.